3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to episode 152 of Ruse Radio. We are back at it again with Soulja Boy himself in the building. That's right. Soulja Boy, you told me you were going to do a live performance here today.
Yeah, and I got a brand new video game that's coming out.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the game like? Could you tell us?
It's pretty much Atari, but we're calling it something else. And I don't think we're going to get sued.
I mean, Soulja Boy, that is why we love you. We're glad to have you back. Fuck
Thanks.
Migos, by the way.
And Quavo.
And Quavo.
I pulled up on their block with the Draco.
Yes. Yes. But truly, sir, we have Milo Mack in the building. Now, people who just tuned in and watched this, all they know about you is you got cool pants, you got pizza socks. I mean, what else do they have to know about you? You're Soulja Boy.
Motley Crue.
Motley Crue.
Yeah.
You're basically a billboard of coolness.
Thanks, man. Yeah. I actually picked this outfit out. I'm so lame. I picked this outfit out on like Monday. I'm like, I'm going to wear that.
Yeah,
on Saturday morning.
I thought about that. Like when I'm watching these podcasts back, I'm like, you know, when people come to the podcast, they're probably thinking like, oh, I need to dress up. Like, they're probably thinking,
I'm sure most of them
nice.
don't give a shit, but I like planning my outfits according to what's going to happen throughout the week.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I wasn't always that way. It's just recently I started becoming that way.
When you say planning for throughout the week, like you mean like you're looking at all your clothes and you're like, this is the type of week I'm going to have.
Well, it's according to the day. Like if I know, it's like, okay, I'm going to be here that day. I'm going to wear that outfit for that event, and then when I'm doing this, I'm gonna wear this outfit. That's a good shirt for this.
You playing ahead of time though?
Yeah, I mean, I look at it and I just kind of know when I'm gonna wear it.
Interesting.
Or like what environment I'm gonna wear that outfit.
When you go shopping, I mean, it's the same thing. Like you're like, okay, so I could see myself doing this sometime, and then you pick stuff out. You know?
Yeah, a lot of stuff I get, I'll just kind of. It's a lot of it's like music related. It'll just be like merch. So I'll look up. You know, if I hear a song I really like, I start listening to that band a bunch. Mm-hmm. I'll buy their merch from their website.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do you ever wear shirts that you are not like a fan of the band, but you're like a fake fan because you're wearing it? Like you ever have fake merch?
That. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. I make sure I don't do that.
Yes.
Because, you know, people will be like, oh, you like that band? And
exactly.
you go, no, I like the shirt. But they go, it's always like a... Like, all right,
you're a loser.
Yeah,
you're a fucking poser loser.
Yeah, so I always make sure if I'm wearing this when I'm wearing I want it's something that I want to promote.
Yeah, I think like when it comes to clothes I wear, I don't really have very many brands. I don't usually like having like a brand on like sometimes fine. Like when I was growing up, my mom would buy me like those like Aeropostale shirts and stuff like that. And it's like it's just like a billboard for the company. Like that's what the shirt is. Like it's not even like I want like a cool shirt, you know. Yeah. But my mom thinks those are boy clothes, and so I ended up wearing a whole lot of those. But like, dude, like Old Navy, I think they do that. Like Aeropostale, Old Navy. I'm trying to think. There was like a bunch of Abercrombie. Yes, that's another one. A bunch of boy clothes. But yeah, like I feel like whenever I'm picking stuff out, I look for like what looks, you know, it's very similar to what you're saying. I kind of like follow my soul, you know. Right. I'm like, what feels right? Like what could I see being like the essence of me? I really like this combo right here.
I do too.
This is one of my favorites. It's a fish shirt here and a fish shirt here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of compliments on this combo.
And it's been warm yesterday, so it's like you're kind of conditioning my brain to really like. I'm present in the current weather.
It's a sign of the times.
Yeah.
I do wear this during winter, though, not going to lie. It's kind of like, you know, remember what we had.
Yeah. While you're shaking outside.
Yeah, I remember that guy that walked on the lake. Like it was a couple of years ago. He like got caught on an iceberg or not an iceberg, whatever those things are, the currents that pull people out. I think he was walking across. Or you know what? He didn't get caught on it, but everybody got mad because he walked across. That's what it was. He didn't get dragged away into the ocean. Why did people get
mad?
Because it's like, oh, that's dangerous.
Oh.
I feel like you should be able to take that risk if you're the guy who wants to take that risk.
Yeah, it's your prerogative. You can call him dumb, but you can't get mad at him.
He probably was doing it for some stupid-ass reason. Like, probably with no good reason, but, like, I think it's more entertaining to just let him go. Just let people do that. They're not hurting anybody except themselves.
Yeah.
What's to lose? It's kind of like... It's kind of like seatbelts. Like, it kind of makes me mad. Like, why do I have to wear a seatbelt? Like, why is that against the law?
You know, there are situations where people didn't wear the seatbelt, and that's what saved their life.
Of course.
You know?
No, I agree with that. But I should still be free to not wear it, is what I'm saying.
I was in a car that flipped over one time when I was in high school, and I wasn't wearing a seatbelt. My friend was next to me. And, yeah, he had to get stitches in his head. He hit his head all on the window, and I was fine. I literally, what I remember is I would just push myself into the seat while it was rolling over, and I was fine.
You were wearing a seatbelt.
I was not. He was, and he got hurt. I did not.
What?
Yeah.
You pushed yourself into the seat. So, like, how?
Well, like, the car flipped over, and I don't know. It's just, so we were going down this gravel path, like kind of fishtailing. My friends were driving. This was New Year's Eve of my senior year in high school. Something, I think it was New Year's Eve, yeah. But anyways, yeah, and then, like, I guess he hit, like, a pothole or, like, something like that. I don't know if it was going in or out of the ground. And the car, like, flipped. And, yeah, I remember having, like, a gentle fall onto the roof.
Like, one good flip?
Like, yeah, boom. It was upside down.
And you just...
Yeah, I just remember I was just kind of like, I fell and it was like a gentle fall. I didn't get hurt at all.
Wow.
But my friend, yeah, he had a seatbelt on.
How would the seatbelt injure him?
I'm just saying he was hurt while he was wearing the seatbelt. So my point is, I think there's times where wearing a seatbelt
is
or
worse.
not wearing yeah, I mean, if you get into certain collisions, you're going to fly through the windshield. Yeah. You're dead. So seatbelt. I'm just saying there are a few instances where I'm sure they were better off without the seatbelt.
Yeah, I'm positive. I remember when I was younger, I saw a video of a guy with the seatbelt on fire. Like, he was strapped in and the seatbelt was on fire. And that was, like, all the comments. It's like, if he hadn't worn his seatbelt, he wouldn't be dying right now. But, like, literally, that's another situation, okay? What if your seatbelt was on fire? There's no escaping.
Just the seatbelt get on fire and not the...
Who knows? Yeah. Who knows? He got lubed up beforehand. He went to light a cigarette. Like, who knows? How else? I have no idea. Yeah, you'd have to light specifically that.
Yeah.
Maybe the whole car was like burning, but he just like maybe the car got
on fire and he got,
okay. Goes right across real quick. Nothing you can do. It's too fast.
Maybe the car was on fire when he got in.
Yeah.
He's like, there's something off about this car.
Maybe he's got dementia or something. Yeah, he just didn't notice the car was in flames.
So you're a rapper too?
Yeah, dude.
That's awesome, man.
Oh, let me grab it. Where'd I put
it? I was a rapper when I was like in my 20s, early 20s.
This guy showed up with an MF Doom record. He said, I got a gift for you, and he whipped this out. I feel like I ought to highlight that on the show. I mean, that is exciting, dude. And like
it's one of his best albums.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is like as a rapper, there's so much rap I haven't really explored. I think I listened to this album like one time.
Listen to it again, it's really good.
Yeah. And MF Doom is like he's one of the people I discovered later. Like, I didn't even realize he was what he is until... I'm try to set it up so it can stay on the camera. I think I can get it right there. But yeah, I think I discovered him like 20... I like heard rumblings about him. But he's kind of one of those people who like... I was going to say 2018. But he's kind of one of those people who... He always kind of managed to have like this raw underground thing, even though he was getting more and more popular always.
That was intentional too. Like, he would change up his name. He has like, 5 different alter egos.
Yeah. Which is like, so who are the other ones?
It's like, let me see. It's like, I can't remember. I'll pull it up right now. I don't know if this is bad radio, but it'll take me 2 seconds.
I was over here like fucking with the vinyl record, setting it down, adjusting it for the camera for the people. I don't know if there is such a thing as bad radio on podcasts. I think you can get away with anything. I think we could sit here and not talk for 60 seconds, and they would like that for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I have so many. I don't know like what to. I don't know. Some of them have Doom in it. Some of them have MF something else.
There's a bunch of different like things to call him by, like tapes. Like, you released these as tapes, like a whole different name, just to fuck with people.
I guess,
and he would always wear a mask so nobody knows what he looks like.
I mean, there was an admiration that developed around him because he didn't care to be in the limelight. He would go out of his way to hide his face and change his names, and so that
I think there's something like underground about that, like something that's like it's kind of like true to the hip hop philosophy in a way. You don't want to get too commercial, or else you either die a Kendrick or live long enough to become a Drake. You know, like you don't want to be the guy known as like the pop commercial guy, because hip hop's not really like that. That's not
Dr.
really
Dre
ever
did a
what
really
it's been.
good job of leaving the game.
Who did Dre?
Dr. Dre, yeah.
Yeah. Dr. Dre and MF Doom, two absolute legends in hip-hop, trailblazers, people who showed the way the game is played. And I think it takes different movers. I think it takes people with intuitive, innovative minds in order to change the landscape of whatever art form you're working within. I think that's what both of those guys did. I think they showed people the way, and I think they blew some minds as they did so. One could even say that those two dudes were some professional mind blowers. Shout out my professional mind blowers of the world. I think you're one of those. Maybe you just haven't figured out quite how yet, but you can blow minds. The question is how. We all are this, and we all deserve a professional mind blower t-shirt. So that's why we're giving these things out. By giving them out, I mean selling them. We've got smalls, we've got mediums, we got larges, and we can make more sizes if you so please. They are $25. That is shipping included, and it's a fantastic way for you to support this show. We need your support, people. That's how we get this thing off the ground floor and up into the sky with Jesus, okay? And now say you want to support this show, but you're not trying to get a shirt. You're not trying to buy some merch, but you do want to be a part of this operation. Well, don't you worry. We got you covered. There's this little thing called Patreon. That's right. $5 a month, the price of a coffee, the price of a beer at the bar. And you make this thing happen. You make this thing bigger and better than it's ever been. You get even bigger guests in this show. You show that we have a support behind us. As you can see, there's these names on the screen. I want that to be a list of 100 people to blow the minds of all the people watching. They're like, oh my gosh, this thing's a real thing. Yes, it is. It always has been. Let's show them. On the Patreon, you can get exclusive content, exclusive podcast content, exclusive music content. I'm talking songs that only come out on the Patreon. And also, third thing, you get to hear my songs early before they come out anywhere else. The support means the world to me. Every tiny little bit of support, the fact you guys are even watching this means the world to me. I really appreciate you. It takes a village, and I couldn't do this without you. So for real, thanks for sticking around. Please consider joining that Patreon, because that is how I make this show my full-time job. I really want to do that. I really want to take this thing and go full throttle, so help me to make that happen. Last thing I got to tell you about is I've got a show coming up at Roast Battle Chicago. I'll be rapping at the end. I'll be blowing the people away with a special surprise performance. Gonna give it to you raw right there on the Roast Battle stage, and I can't wait to do so. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a fun time. And Roast Battle is always a fun time. I love what they're doing. I love that they push comedians to try new material. They basically force them to do new material because it's a roast battle. You have to write the jokes just for that night. So it's a really unique comedy show. It's a unique experience, and it's based on the spirit of rap battles. And so there's a connection there. There's some connective tissue going on. I love me a good rap battle. I think competition brings out the best of us. So shout out Roast Battle. Love what they're doing. Excited to be partnering up with them and working with them. And I hope to see you there on May 1st, folks. And if you can't be there, don't worry. You got a million more opportunities to catch your boy live, all right? I'm going to be at the Grammys one day. I'm going to be up there on the stage like Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl, rapping about whatever it is I ate for breakfast that morning. That's my future. I will be on Hot Ones with Sean Evans, okay? So you have a million chances to see me live, but Roast Battle is a golden one. Let's talk about the greatness that is Dr. Dre.
You know, he could have dropped more albums, and he still could. And
The Chronic. Where the fuck is The Chronic, bro?
Yeah, no, it was the Detox.
Detox.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's literally
Chronic.
been longer. Like, that was a joke. Like, people would say that it's either going to be that or Tool's new album. And Tool's new album came out first.
Yeah. But he never released it, and I always wondered why. There was a couple songs that leaked, and they were really good, but
It's probably what you're saying, though. It's like his legacy. He
Yeah.
probably just understood it's better for him to be what he's known as, you know, what we remember him as.
like Tupac, imagine if he was alive today.
Yeah.
There's some people I've heard like make jokes about it. Like if Tupac was alive today, he'd be doing A, B, C, and they're really funny. I'm like, yeah.
Maybe they're right.
Yeah.
Who knows? That's kind of the fun thing, is like you never really know. That's what's weird about a legacy, is you kind of you're able to keep doing it, and then one day it just you can't anymore, and it is what it always was. Like it's always, we just remember people as they last were a lot of the time. Like their last, like if you can fuck up your legacy with like doing something 20 years, 30 years later into your life, and then like it kind of sours all that older stuff that you did. So it's kind of smart to just drop out like Dr. Dre, just kind of sit on the sidelines and be the supportive character from then on, like not the main character anymore. Yeah. I think like the last time I really remember Dr. Dre being in the limelight would be like when Eminem and Skylar Grey, they did I Need a Doctor, because he was rapping on that song. And that was like, even when I was that age, I remember thinking like, oh, you don't even really hear Dr. Dre rap that much, you know, like that's interesting. This is like this popular song, because I was not of the era where Dr. Dre was popular, you know. Yeah. I feel like I just missed that. Like,
how old are you?
26. About to be 27. Well, yeah. Okay. 26.9.
Yeah. It's like the kids that say, I'm 26 and a half. Oh,
you ever forget your age? I forget my age. Like, when you ask me, that's why I hesitate.
Dude, sometime recently I said I'm 20. I'm 32.
Yeah, it's scary.
How old are you? I'm 20. Fuck, no. Wrong.
When you're younger, you don't understand what people are saying when they say that. But now I get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm really, it's been long enough.
Yeah, like
I'm starting to forget.
I remember like being younger and people were like, I'm so much older than you. And I used to be like, not really. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Now I find myself being that guy, like, oh my God, I'm so much older than you.
Yeah, you don't realize what they're saying when they're saying it.
Yeah, a lot of the comedians, like, they'll be like 23, 24, and I forget sometimes.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's a big one. With comedy in particular, you notice that because you have younger people. You have a lot, you have mostly people who have been doing it for like 3 or 5 years, so they started around like 25 is kind of probably like the average starting age, probably like 25. So most of them are going to be about 30, like 25 to 30. So when you have somebody come around that's like 21, 22, everyone makes fun of them for being young, but they're not actually young. They're just too young, like, for comedy.
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting how that scales. It's different in that career. Rappers, you can be as old as you want.
Yeah.
We're allowed to be 5 years old.
Yeah. They have like 8-year-olds. They have those 8 or 9-year-old rappers and stuff. I forgot the new one. He'll like be in the club and like smacking girls on their ass. It's like, dude, this isn't right.
Yeah. It's the future, like, man.
I don't know, man. I don't know if that's a good path.
It's progressive values. It's 2025. Kids smacking asses.
And like throwing these are grown women. I'm like, this is a little close to where, you know, this could be prosecuted.
What am I watching right now?
Yeah. I mean, I've been having a lot of that in my life. Like, you know, what am I watching right now? What is this?
A lot of those moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like scrolling on social media.
Like even what you were talking about earlier, the ruse eyes,
ruse foot. Yeah. Shout out to the people on TikTok that made accounts for my eyes, my feet, my nose, my ears. Yeah.
See, like, I don't get it.
I understand what they're doing.
It's funny to me and it's entertaining. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand.
So what's happening, at least with that one, is like with TikTok in particular, I think it's a lot of younger people, like more younger, like a younger crowd than Instagram. So the people that are like, it's a lot of it, they're trying to, for one, they're like trying to troll you. Like they're trying to troll you. So they want you to react. And so like I was telling you, so what I used to do this a lot in my lives. I would go live and I would I would play into, it's kind of stupid because like what I'm doing is I'm hoping it's going to get me more traction because people are going to stick around. I had a couple methods. There's this one thing I would do where I would hold up a sign that said like make me laugh, and then I would just make like this, like do the Kubrick stare for as long as I could. But it kind of started to hurt my eyes because you do that. If you try to stare like that for long enough, it's like you're staring like a bird at its prey. Like it kind of hurts if you do that for like 45 minutes on end every day for a couple days.
Yeah.
So it's probably, I didn't realize that. I didn't think about that going into it. There was one time I went live on TikTok. This was a fun one. It was like 3 a.m. and I was just like fucking around because that's what I was going to say. I always fuck around. Like I always fuck around and try to get, because I know they want me to react, but I'm not going to do like I'll find a way to make it like not retarded. Okay. Like, not, excuse me. But like people literally do like brain dead things on TikTok, like brainless, like completely like it's as if there's no actual intent behind it, and that's the intent. I like to say we live in a post-ironic society, okay? Maybe you can try to understand these things this way. There's no joke. There's no sense to be made. There's nothing happening. It's the fact that there's nothing happening that is the joke. So like when they're making those, so I'm live and I'm like playing into their reactions. I'm saying, don't make, because that's one thing they always like. I would pretend to be angry, so I'd be like, don't make accounts about me. Like, don't do that. That's not funny. You guys are taking pictures of my feet. You know, you think I'm comfortable with that? That could be sold overseas or something. Okay, like you can't just take a picture of somebody's foot without their consent. And I thought we were friends, you know. And I'll just talk to them like this, and then they play into that. They understand that I'm playing into the joke that they're playing into. It's this strange atmosphere on TikTok in particular.
Like that. That's fun. Okay,
yeah,
I get it now.
It's fun when but they'll also say the worst things possible to you. Like, but you got to remember they're 8 years old. Like they're calling you literally slurs, but they're 8, so you have to be okay. You have to understand they don't mean any harm.
And they do that, and they go, "Mommy, I want some cookies." After
Yes.
act all innocent, and they go back to their fucking phones and just turn into demons again.
Yes, that is the world we are in.
Yeah, they're not really kids anymore. You know?
No.
It's like they jump from 4 years between 4 and 5. They just jump to 13.
Yeah.
Like mentally, but they know they're 5 years old.
Yeah. Yes.
Mommy. Then they go, "Is mommy gone?" Get on their phone. 13.
Like they don't identify as their age. It's scary because you got to imagine, like, you're right. Like they have separate lives. All these kids. I think about that with my siblings, my nephews. I'm thinking like, his 13 years old is so different than my 13 years old. His life is so different than what my life was. Like it was back then, like, because I'll see him like interacting with other kids on like Snapchat, and they all have this like community on Snapchat. I'm just thinking like phones were barely a thing when I was his age. Like it was just, I'm of the age where it's like right where it turned the corner, so I was able to miss it. I think if you're like 26, 27, you can still pass, like maybe even 25. But like the younger you get, the more you grew up with phones, and you grew up with that environment of people interacting like that, and it's just socially so different.
Yeah,
no one knows the like how it's gonna play out fully. We're just seeing the beginning of it. Like I have to imagine kids have this different muscle with the way that they can, like, kids can use phones before they can speak English. Like you can use a device.
Oh yeah,
it's a whole different method of your brain.
I've seen it before. There's a lot of babies that will know how to operate an iPad, but will not be able to speak. They only know 2 or 3 words, and there are some benefits to them like doing that, and there are obviously drawbacks. But the thing is, with a lot of people say that technology has gone too far. I'm not sure it's that. I think it's social media that if you removed, I know it's hard to imagine, but hypothetically, if you remove social media, you can kind of see, like, we could use technology. I mean, I love GPS. I love all this stuff. But yeah, it's the addiction to social media, I think, that's devolved.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because if you just had the phone, it would be so much different than if you had Facebook and Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah, maintain its utility, and then just take away social media, and I think that...
Well, that's why people get those dumb phones.
Yeah.
Basically, why they get those is so they don't have all the distractions. Because it's just, you have a world at your fingertips. Like I was thinking about this and like why books are good. Because books are good because I can open a book and I have no opportunity to go 10 different directions. It's just one linear path. I'm just reading through this information the way that, like, maybe I can try to like find sections, but it's all in this one place. It's not like it's a fucking world of information at my fingertips, because once you have that, it's so easy to go any direction and you can easily distract yourself. That's the human nature, is to do something like that, to stray away from your original path, and then now you're not researching that thing. I was going to look up that thing about the pyramids. Now I'm spending like 3 hours learning the earth is flat. Like that's the internet.
A good book is like a good conversation with a really great mind. I read that on Reddit.
And that's what it is.
And yeah, that's true. And, so it is, and everything you're saying is right. It's a linear, it's a linear conversation, thought process. On social media, within 1 minute,
there's so much context.
25 different... You're engaged in 25 completely different things. Oh, look at this person. Oh, that dog is cute. Oh my God, there's a war. Oh, this celebrity died.
And that's not the way that life is. You're not supposed to switch between context so rapidly like that. Like, you don't do that anywhere else. And that's why it's so tempting to do so. It's like you can constantly stimulate yourself, but you can't. That stuff's like with Twitter in particular. Like, you're not supposed to see porn and then murder on the same scroll.
You know, so
it's crazy.
So if you go on those uncensored news or those uncensored sites like chaotic.com with like a K, you know what I'm talking about? It's the ones that they have actual war footage and beheadings and fights and all this stuff. They always have porn in there. And it's weird. It's like, just because it's uncensored, it'll be like a bloody body in a ditch next to a girl with cum on her face.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't want to start associating those two together. You know,
that's wild.
Sorry,
they're making a bunch of necrophiliacs.
Yeah, and like murder porn people.
Yeah, fucking psychopaths.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the only connection I can make is depravity, because it is kind of the reason that they're advertising there is because they're allowed. Like, you're just as depraved as me. You'll allow us to put this up. Like, that's kind of, they just need the money.
And they have regular ads on there sometimes, and I'm like, what marketing person decided, hey, let's go to this porn murder site and advertise
probably just
these eye drops. Yeah.
Google ads just fucking up, you know, like this eye drop company has no idea.
Exactly.
They're like, why are we getting so much business?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Oh, that murder porn site is really working well for us.
That's their market.
The CEO's like, I don't like it, but I'll live with it.
Those websites are crazy. I didn't, you know what's great is I'm glad you suggested one to me, because I grew up with those websites and I was thinking like there's not much of that anymore.
There isn't. LiveLeak was the OG and they took it down.
Right. And when that happened, I was like, I was right this whole time. Like, the internet's getting fucking scrubbed, dude. Like, there's no way. But it's also weird because now it's on Twitter. So, like, how do you take the murder off of the murder website and then it's just on Twitter? Yeah. You don't want that. It's better if it's on the murder website.
Yeah, I
dude.
agree.
And then, like, I think rotten.org is still around. I don't think they ever took that down. That was another one of the OGs. But LiveLeak, it was so crazy because their explanation was like, it was just on the thing. Oh, we can't be this website anymore. Like,
yeah,
that was what they said.
And it's just like they put it back up, but it's not at all. It's like more censored and stuff.
Right.
I guess. But this chaotic for me, I think, as far as I know, it's the most like it's the one that's closest linked to LiveLeak.
There's something
because it's updated. Like it's updated maybe every day. Sometimes they skip a day, but it's all about current things for the most part. Like 95% of it is stuff that happened within that week.
I'm going to have to let my friend Stephen Black know. You know Stephen Black?
Maybe.
He's gotten banned on Instagram once now he'll put on his story just a bunch of videos, like types of videos you might see on that thing, like that type of website where like people get in a car accident or some guy falls off a motorcycle or whatever. And like I'll go through his story and like he just obviously did not learn his lesson. Yeah. But I know he's going to love this website because he told me he found everything, all that stuff from Twitter. So I'm excited to share this with him.
Yeah, it's chaotic with a K, not a CH.
I just feel like there's nothing wrong with these websites. You know, it's kind of like, oh yeah.
Thanks, man.
Like it's like the I feel like, I don't know. It's like I'm kind of glad I saw that as a kid. I'm not gonna lie.
I think so too. I think you should. I mean, there's times where my girlfriend will be like, "It's weird that you watch that. Like, why do you like to watch these people get shot?" And I'm like, I don't. It's fascinating because it's real. I don't like particular. That's not how I would
It's more
describe
real
it.
than most things.
Yeah, I mean, these are things that are happening today, and some of it is a lot. I mean, sometimes I'm like, okay, that's too much for me. Like,
yeah, there's one
when they
video.
show like kids, like like with the aftermath of them getting like
yeah, that's brutal.
blown up. It's hard to watch, so I'll have to kind of neutralize it by literally watching videos of like puppies and babies laughing and dogs like doing cute shit, just to kind of settle that shit back down, neutralize myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
So one time I remember I was just trying to watch porn. That's all I wanted to do. And not even porn. There's this website called imagefap.com, okay? It's just pictures. So I was like, I need to take it easy. I'm just going to look at pictures, okay? But then I'm on the website and I go through the categories. And I remember, like, somehow I stumbled upon, like, a bunch of, like, it was, like, sex slave pictures. Like, it was, like, a bunch of supposed sex slaves. And it's, like, a photo of the woman, like a selfie. And then a photo of the woman, like, with the bag over her head or some shit. And, like, it's like so tempting. I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at? Like, what even is this? I feel like I'm a criminal by looking at these pictures. Like, what am I seeing?
And you're getting
right
there.
now?
That's like kind of like the gateway to that stuff.
That's how people probably find it because it looked real. That's what freaked me out the most. It made me realize, like, this shit is actually real. Like it probably is the type of thing where you would be a psychopath that would just share that openly. You probably would just put it on the website so people can find it. But like, because I just stumbled upon it, you'd have to know what you're looking for a little bit, dude.
There's times where like, and if you look at those views, it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
You know,
oh
like,
yeah, because there's those videos on the
this.
shock websites too.
Yeah.
You'll see shit like that on those websites. Or like the first time I ever really saw stuff like that would be on 4chan back in the day, because it would be on like the either GIF or I think Random. It's one of those two. I feel like it was one of those two. There's like the two that always have the most stuff like that. It's like either like, I don't know, dude. Fucking 4chan's wild. Again, I don't think it's what it used to be. But yeah, I've seen some. That's where I've probably discovered most of those things, and it's some of it's questionable. Like some of like if it's like a supposed like sex crime, it's questionable. Sometimes it's not, and it's like it makes you realize how real things like are. Like truly, that's what I think. Because otherwise, you don't fully understand. Like, people are that evil. Like, people are capable of the greatest evil you could possibly conceive.
And I think it's kind of important to know that.
Exactly.
And so that's kind of that's a part of the reason why I like to watch that stuff, because I want to constantly remind myself of what humans are capable of.
Exactly.
I mean, a lot of people. I mean, this country isn't perfect, but it is utopian compared to a lot of places, which is why people from all over the world are dying to get here.
And we don't realize that.
Yeah, it's like, this country sucks. And it's like, yeah, it's got a lot of problems. A lot of shit is corrupt. And there's a lot of, injustice in life. There's certain things that shouldn't be going the way they do. But at the end of the day, this is where the entire world is fighting to live.
Right.
And it's not for no reason. You know? So...
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that is the fact that we got freedom, baby. Freedom is a beautiful thing. And again, people don't realize what that is. Like, if you look at the history of America, like the foundation of America, that was groundbreaking. Like, nobody had really put that forward. Like, it's going to be a nation entirely dependent on what the people want. And of course, I feel like we've kind of dropped the ball over the years. We're not so much that, when in principle we are that,
right.
But we're still mostly that. Like, we're still way freer than any other country you want to compare us to.
Yeah.
And so it's just crazy, as an American, you don't see that for what it is. You kind of take it for granted a lot of the time.
And people will compare the U.S. to certain places like UAE, Dubai. They'll be like, dude, Dubai is way better than anywhere in America. Well, go over there. And yeah, it's nice. The sidewalks are cleaner. The service industry is much more, servicey and attentive to you and your whatever. But you don't have freedom of speech. If you criticize their government, and also if you get a fraction of weed dust on your phone, they'll throw you in prison.
Weed dust.
Yeah, they like detect. Yeah, there's rappers and celebrities that have gone there and they've done time because they had like an empty bag of weed.
Yeah.
Shit, so.
Who is that girl who got arrested in Russia?
Brittany Griner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I mean, just any other country, you don't realize. It's not like, because that was the American reaction to her getting arrested was, oh, well, it's just a little bit of weed. But it's like, yeah, but there it's not. That's not what it's like there.
Yeah, and that's kind of
and that's what you get. It's kind of like there's pros and cons to everything. Like, yeah, if you want a super duper organized, perfect communal society, you're going to get a society that's very controlled. That's just what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
you
so that's
can't say this, you can't say this. I mean.
And yeah, that's the kind of where I find some conflict in, like, communism, eat the rich. It's like, okay, yeah, but then you're just giving power to fewer people.
Yeah. In my mind, don't you see human nature? Like, don't you see that?
I don't really understand communism that well, so I don't want to sound like an idiot. But I'm sure that's not how it works. I haven't read the Marxist.
I think the problem, I don't know, I forget the distinction between communism and Marxism. I forget the distinction. But I just feel like the idea, because like even with communism, that's what you're saying. You're saying there's going to be a small ruling class and then a large class of people. That's the working class.
Right.
And those people you're just guessing that the people that are the other, like, smaller group aren't going to take advantage of the bigger group. Like, I'm telling you they will.
Historically, that's usually how it unfolds. But my whole thing is, like, that's not for everyone. I enjoy the fact they should have spaces where that's how it works.
Yeah.
If that's really how you want to live. But I just think that people should have the freedom to live their life however they choose, as long as they're not harming anyone.
And that's
you know what I mean?
foundation of America.
Exactly.
That's the idea. That's what they were saying, like the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah.
That's all the pursuit of happiness is. It's to live your life in a way that won't hurt the people around you, and you can just pursue the best possible life you could possibly have. I think the problem is there's no ideal, like nothing is black and white. So there's no ideal, perfect political philosophy. There's no perfect anything, but like people act like there is. Like, oh, if we did this, everything would be perfect.
Yeah.
There's just, that's never gonna happen with anything. Like, there's always gonna be a downside that you could never predict. And like, obviously, there's a truth to the fact that like you should have capitalism, but you can't have the capitalism we have now. Like, you can't have that because it's anti-American in the sense that if you wanted everyone to be able to pursue their best possible circumstances, you wouldn't have the scales so tipped that like the top 0.001% has all the money. That doesn't even make any sense. Now no one wins, but except this small group of people. And that's the part that gets everybody fucked up, because like, how do you fix that? And then you have a million different answers. Yeah. Like, it's communism. Oh, it's capitalism. Oh, it's actually the fact that we don't have the right rules around capital. Like, people come up with a million conclusions. But what's the right one? Like,
I mean,
that's the debate.
Different systems work for different people in different regions of the country and the world. You know what I mean? So there isn't, what might work for this guy in Mississippi with a farm isn't going to be ideal for the person living in downtown Manhattan.
And America is unusually big, and we have an unusually diverse group of people under our umbrella. Yep. That's kind of the other big problem with the way that we talk about things.
At the most diverse. I mean, you look at, there's certain parts of the country that sometimes I'll go up like, whoa. I didn't even know it was like this. Yeah. Even how I came to Chicago for the first time, I had no idea how cool of a city it was.
That's why I moved here.
Yeah. Where are you from?
Michigan. Flint, Michigan.
Yeah, I've been in Flint a couple times.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, man. I worked in the weed industry, and we had fundraisers over there over the water crisis, and then for like the weed, what do you call it? Not the festival. That's not the word. Conventions. We had conventions over there.
Okay.
Yeah. So like for high times and shit like that, and I missed my flight one time. And I had an overnight layover in Chicago. That's how I discovered the city. It was fucking awesome. So I discovered the city on accident. They say discovered like
from going to Michigan.
Yeah.
Wow.
Flint, Michigan, and then the next day
from Flint, Michigan.
Yeah, I was on my way from LA to Flint, and I missed my flight the first time. And then I was like, holy shit, dude, this city's awesome. I'm gonna come back, and I did. And then I started thinking about moving here, and it's the best move I ever made. I didn't realize I hated LA until I moved here. I thought I loved LA while I was there.
Interesting.
And I was like, no, I wasn't happy there. I hated it.
That's kind of what I discovered when I came here the first time from Flint. I was like, oh my God, like there's a whole world outside of the world that I'm currently occupying. And if I don't like escape now, I might just miss that forever. Because you either think about doing that forever or you just do it. That's how it goes. And it's hard to pick a date. Like, okay, I'm moving this time. But I just knew in my soul.
I mean, you see it all the time. When people are like, yeah, I'm planning on leaving in July, and then they don't. Well, I was gonna. That's why whenever you really want to make a big change, you kind of, not with everything, but sometimes when you want to make a big change, you got to just kind of do it fast. Yeah. People are going to criticize you. They're like, when I moved to Chicago, they're like, who do you know there? It's cold. People get shot. It's violent. And I'm like, whatever. And same thing when I moved to LA, and same thing, whatever. Yeah. So, yeah.
But I mean, there's a million reasons it's rationalizing is what it is. It's like, oh, I want to do this, but I don't know. And so you make up reasons like, I could have said, oh, Chicago might be too dangerous. Oh, how am I going to get a job? Oh, what am I going to, I don't have say. Like, you can come up with a million reasons not to do what you want to do. Yeah. It's kind of like the ultimate lesson in life, I feel like, is to just go and to just do things and to not hesitate so much, because every moment is an opportunity to decide whether or not you will or you won't, right? And so if you decide not to, you become the person that allows themselves to decide not to. And you do that enough times, and you are that person, And there's a certain fortitude in doing what you want to do, and like paving a personality and who you are. Like, all of that comes through your choices. One thing that's so hard for me to put into perspective is like who I am, because who I am is obviously unique, but it's hard to remember that because you're so used to yourself. But like, whatever choice you're going to make in this moment right here is you, because no one else would make that choice because of all the things that happened to you leading up to now. And it's just so hard to put yourself in such a perspective because you're so used to you. It's crazy, dude. Like, sometimes I'll just think that, like even in conversations like these, I'll connect things to the fact that I'm a rapper and the fact that like this and that, because that's where my brain goes. But most people don't think like that. It's just crazy. The comedians, they're thinking of things like comedy brain. Your brain. When you talk to a group of comedians, it's always fun because they're all in comedy brain kind of all the time. So when you get all of you guys together, you guys are just all comedying at each other. Normal people don't do that. Yeah. It's like people are just so... If you get two plumbers together, they'll talk about fucking pipes for 3 hours. Like, you know, there's your brain is incredibly unique. Like, are there things that you like how do you get to comedy? Like, how does that happen for you? That's always a fun question because everybody has their own thing.
Yeah. Well, my friends in LA were all like, one of my best friends out there. He was a really hilarious guy, and he was doing comedy, and he's doing really well now, but. Yeah,
you remember his name? You can shout out.
Yeah, Eli Halpern. He's one of my best friends. Anyways, he's in Austin now. Anyways,
the Mecca.
Yeah, I would watch it. Yeah, he moved from LA over there. But
what would you remember when he moved?
2018, I think.
Oh, like early.
Yeah, it was before COVID.
Nice.
Yeah,
he was ahead of the curve.
Yeah. So yeah, he's hilarious, but. Yeah, I tried to follow those footsteps, and I was just so bad at it. And even when I moved here and I did it, I was still really bad at it. I think I've gotten a little better now.
Everybody's bad at first, though.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is, I was like confident. I'm like, this is hilarious shit. And I would go up and I would bomb and be like, what's wrong with these people? And I look back at it now and I'm like, I have anxiety about it. I'm like, this was so bad. And I thought it was funny. And I went on stage like, you guys ready for this shit? Yeah. I mean, every few months I'll hit like a new...
I appreciate the confidence, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like I would bomb confidently and then I would just be like, what the hell am I doing wrong?
I've said before, and I'll say it again, I think that's exactly what would happen to me if I did comedy. I think I would bomb confidently for a long time. Yeah. I think and then I would like regret all of it. That's probably exactly how it would go. Yeah.
I mean, I'll look back on stuff. I'm sure I'm going to look back on stuff that I post now and be like, what the hell was I thinking? But because I'll see someone that's like 3 or 4 months in, I'm like, I remember I was doing jokes like that. But I'm sure, and I've only been doing it like less than 2 years, and I'm sure there's people that have been doing it 5 years looking at me like, I remember I was doing comedy like that.
Exactly.
And then people that are doing it 10 years looking at the 5-year person. So it's just a growth thing, you know.
I think it's good that you can see it. I think that's the wisdom in it, is the fact that you can see the difference. Like, right. I know I'm better now because I can see now what I couldn't see then.
Right.
Because that's just...
And I'm sure that's just going to keep happening.
Exactly.
You know?
I've learned to be okay with it. Like, I'm going to hate the songs I'm making now. I'm going to look back at this podcast and be like, why the fuck did I put the light there? Like, just dumb things.
But, you know, I mean, yeah. I mean, some people, you can't just expect to go into it like got it figured out.
Well, it's worse to do that because then you think you know, and then like to have the openness in that, like maybe there's another way I could do this. Like it allows you to grow, and like I said before, like you always need to go in life. You also need to always grow in life. Yeah, go and grow. That's a nice little combo. But you do, like everything you do needs to kind of be like progressing towards something else. Like that's kind of like what working out always is. You're always trying to be able to lift more. But not like you don't have to like overdo it, but just you want to build resistance and do better than you could before and like make yourself better. I think every craft is like that. I think you write jokes, you get better by going and doing it, and you like grow through it because you've done it enough times. Music's like that, you know? I think there's stuff I've written like 8 years ago, 10 years ago, fantastic. But then like I can still see the difference. I can still see it. Like there's some stuff that sticks out. There's other stuff I look at and I'm like, oh my God, like what is this? I couldn't mix until about like 3 to 6 months ago, and that happens to me every 2 years. Like I rediscover how I'm supposed to be mixing my music because I mix and master everything too. So it's a whole fucking other job that you have to deal with.
Man, I know all about that.
So how long did you make music for?
Well, I was doing that. I was a rapper for like, I don't know, like a year and a half where I was doing it all the time, but then still in my head but the thing was I was just churning them out. I mean, every other day I would just put out a song. I just loved it. I loved the, because, everyone wants to hear the perspective of a Middle Eastern guy from the suburbs.
They all want to hear from my white ass too, dude. They want to hear everything.
I'm sure yours is more interesting. Yeah. It probably has, garners a lot more interest. Yeah, I just posted on SoundCloud like someone's gonna discover me.
I mean, there's like no. It's probably. I wonder which more hopeless, rapping or comedy, because they're so hopeless. Like you're basically just accepting you're going to fail.
Well, the thing is with comedy, I feel like it's more tangible. You can kind of, because then you get booked at a show. There's steps. There's with music. I feel like it's a lot more arbitrary. It's just kind of you get pulled out of the. The what do they call it?
You just want somebody that's one of like these giant hands to come by and grab you like a claw machine.
I mean, you just the algorithm picks you up and you just go to the fucking moon.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Now it's that, right? Yeah. And a lot of music can happen inside of a vacuum in such a way, but it's actually like worse if you do that, because I don't think people realize, like, even just social media in general, like you get so used to that attention. I think a lot more happens in real life, like meeting people in real life. Those connections you make. That's certainly a big
aspect of it, for sure.
Yeah, because like even like you said before we started recording, like, oh, you've had a couple of my friends on here. That's a big reason that this podcast does what it does, like at the moment, is because it's like a net of people, and people make these associations because it's like, oh, this guy knows this guy, and that's the stuff that sticks out. Mm-hmm. Oh, like if you go to a room and a bunch of people know you, now you're the person in the room that everybody knows, and so those people that don't know you look at you like, oh, who's this guy? Mm-hmm. It's just this weird thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not even doing much. I'm just like talking to people, but that's what I'm saying. All you have to do is talk. Like I always say with comedy, like a lot of comedians, they'll go to open mics, but they don't really like say hi to people or hang out, and that's like half of it. Mm-hmm. Like that's like getting booked. That's like half of getting booked right there. Is just being cool and saying hi. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, there's times where I'll walk into an open mic and a lot of people will be talking. I'll feel like I'm on an island, and I used to not care. At bars and stuff, I'll just immerse myself into whatever. But in comedy, I guess I'm a little more shy to do that.
It kind of feels like there's cliques and you're not like a part of them.
I don't want to like just throw myself into something because I might get like rejected out, or they'd be like, why is he, I don't know, why he's a little too comfortable and familiar. So I kind of try to let it happen naturally, but that is true. It's certainly being social is a huge element of comedy.
See, I have like a trick. I just developed like reasons. So for one, I'm usually like rapping in an open mic. So I've already like I've given them like, oh, you're the rapper guy. But I'll have business cards, okay? And so business cards are a super easy one because you just walk up, you say like, hi, my name is Ruse, blah, 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 blah. I have a podcast. And they're like, oh, hey, rapper guy. And that's how I started to get people on my podcast. It was literally just, I would have a cell. I'd come up with my business card. I'd say like, hey, great set. By the way, here's my card. Oh, you got a card right here?
It's a fancy one.
Ooh. But probably the best card I've ever seen. It says, Comedy in River North, open mic at Mickey's Park, Wednesdays. Sign up at basically just back straight to business.
Yeah,
we got an address on here. We got the IG. Boom. It's literally
I just hand
for those that
out
don't see it on the video, it's a slice of paper.
I think I got scammed because I paid top dollar for that.
It's not expensive to make cards.
I know.
But this is a good gag. Yeah. I like this. They're like, hey, here's my card, and you pass people this.
Yeah, that joke I just made, I say it every time. It never really gets a laugh. It's just like a cute little dad thing,
You got a laugh out of me.
Oh, I love it's one of those laughs like, yeah.
This is because I'm a guy who passes people my card all the time. Okay, I relate to what you're doing. So like when I see someone do this, because I liken it to like somebody had a card the other day. I wish I had it next to me. I got it in the other room, I think. And it was a comedian with a card, and he passed it to me. I was like, this is a nice card, and it felt like the scene in American Psycho when like you're sweating and you're kind of pissed because this card's better than yours.
That scene is hilarious to me. He's like, oh, this card. I like laugh out loud when I see it.
It's a great scene.
It's a great movie too. I like the movie.
I love it.
But I just can't help myself. It's just a very funny scene to me. He's like, oh, looking at it. I'm like, that's the most psycho part of the whole movie. Not him killing those women. That part to me is the most psycho.
This guy's fucked up.
I'm like, what the hell?
He's mad about the textiles, like the fucking the type of material he used, which if you go on these websites, you will see they have different offerings for different materials. But the cheapest cards, I'll tell you now, I feel like it's like 4 cents a card, like 3 cents. Like I get 1,000 at a time for like $40. It's something like that. I'll make sure to give you one before you leave.
Cool. Yeah, I'll put it on my fridge.
But then you always say, like, you know, oh, those songs I perform, like QR codes. You got a QR code. There's a link tree, but if you have your own website, it's even better. And QR codes are free. You can go to a QR code maker website. So you get
on
that.
Adobe, you can do it.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I got a QR code to my link tree from Adobe. I just haven't printed it out yet.
Well, there you go. And like I'm telling you, that shit goes a long way. I really need to make stickers and just start putting the QR code around places and just tricking people into watching my YouTube videos or something. That probably would work. Yeah, because I've heard of that. But yeah, dude. I mean, like, I just feel like you need to, with the interacting with people thing, like the networking thing, because people think of it like networking, but really it's not. Really, you're making friends, kind of, in a way. Yeah. You kind of want to just make friends in the community you're in. But like people, for whatever reason, they think of it as this burden. You know, like, I don't want to have to walk up to you and talk to you. Which some people you don't. Some, especially at open mics, some people you don't. But you can get anybody at an open mic. You really can. You could get literally the guy off the subway. You could get the guy off the corner. You could get the guy asking you for rocks when you were walking in. He might decide to come in. There was once a guy at Red Room who, like, he went on stage and he was like on the phone, and a couple comedians kind of made fun of him because he was like on the phone, like talking, sort of like he had his girl on the phone or something. And then when he went on stage, he just had this monologue like, fuck this, fuck that, fuck Jesus. And when he said fuck Jesus, everybody kind of turned against him for some reason, you know? Like, real Christian crowd in Red Room that night.
Interesting, yeah.
But I just remember, like, and he stormed out, and then a week later, I saw on social media, it was whoever like runs Red Room. She, because I must be friends with her. I'm forgetting her name. But she posted a screenshot of him emailing her saying he wants a video from his performance that night. And then when she said they didn't record videos, he started cussing her out in the emails. And I was like, I remember that guy. I was there. But like, point being, you don't have to talk to everybody at an open mic.
Yeah, there's some, but there are times where there'll be like crazy people pulling up at an open mic and they'll bomb because they're just so outlandish. Yeah. But I love those people because they remind me that it's an open mic. Right. It's like, the other day I saw this guy at this open mic. And he did like the 5 little monkeys jumping on the bed thing. One monkey fell and hit his head. He did that for like a whole minute, and it was so funny, man. It was just like, no one was laughing, but just, I don't know.
Yeah, well, no, there is like, I agree with you. It's kind of like what I was saying about like the rawness, the reality of hip hop. Like, that's real hip hop. I feel like that's real life. Like, when you see somebody who's like completely out there, you're actually looking at reality like right in the face, and that's kind of the problem. That's kind of why you don't like it. But I am attracted to those people. I'm almost about to ask them to come on my show. Like, I'm like, hey, I got a podcast. I've had a couple of them on here. Like, I love those people in a way because everybody's weird. It's like how I was saying, everybody's unique. You think they're weird, but really you're like just as weird, but in your own way. You just can't even see it. You think you're normal. Like, maybe this person's out there, but like if you talk to them, they'll have reasons and they have like a whole philosophy.
I love out there people. I love weird.
I want to ask them questions.
I love them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I find them the most fascinating. I also love old people.
Yeah.
Like, whenever I'm at a bar, the older the person, the more kind of interested. I discriminate in that way.
That's
like
wise.
Yeah. I love, like the building I live in, they have gatherings with a bunch of old people, and I get so much from hanging out with them.
Yeah.
Because they're near the end of their life. They're just real with themselves, and they have a whole life of experience behind their new approach. Not new approach, but their old approach to life.
Absolutely, yeah, which is kind of hard to... It's like what we were saying earlier about like not knowing what an older person is talking about until you're that age. That like they can give you that because they're 55, they're 60 years old. They've lived twice of your lives. Like, they understand things in a way that you never could. Yeah.
Well, not all of them. But you can kind of
like anybody.
You can tell. Yeah, you can tell like who you should be listening to, and So I mean, they just sit there. The old man at the bar. I love those conversations.
Me too.
Yeah. I get drunk with that guy happily.
Yeah. I feel like you have to be like. I heard once you're more interesting when you're interested. And so I try to just apply that to everything. Like, you know, and I don't even do that on purpose, but I've just noticed that's like a way that I
like
think
that.
about
Yeah,
it.
that's true.
Because you just want to know. Like, if you want to know, people want to tell you. And so,
everybody wins because then you're actually interested, and then, you know.
And there's so much you could learn from whoever that guy is at the bar.
Sorry.
You know, it could be any guy. It could be, you don't really know unless you ask them the questions and you're interested in whatever they have to say. Or like going back to open mics, you don't know what these other comedians could teach you if you were not talking with them. Like it could be the simplest advice. They could just punch up a joke in like one way that you would have never seen. And that interaction is infinitely valuable now because that joke is forever better. It could be just that. It could be as simple as that.
Yeah.
But it's those little things, you know.
I have a friend who, like, he'll write jokes, and I've made fun of him for it before. I'm like, he knows how, if he hears a bit of yours, he'll just throw something there on the spot that'll make the joke 10 times better. But then he doesn't know how to apply it to his own comedy. It's the funniest thing. He can punch up everyone's jokes, and every time he does, it works like a charm. He's the best for that. Like, sometimes I'll usually run my bits by him, and he'll usually have like, add that, and I'm like, oh my god, how did I not see that?
Yeah. But
And-
his actual comedy just bombs.
No, I mean, he's good, but then he struggles. He'll have like a good premise, and I try to give him back, you know, the help that he gives me, but I just can't. I'm not good like he is just on the spot like that. And he just because he has a fresh take on it, and then he just drops gems right there on the spot. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's Dylan Feldman. He'll be on the show tonight too.
Maybe he's just got like he's the guy who, when I saw him on the poster, I thought he looks like that guy from Stranger Things.
I've never seen that show.
Really? He looks like he's also the guy who was the lead singer of that popular song on social media. Is like, when I'm back in Chicago, da-dee-da. You ever hear that song? He was in Stranger Things. I'm forgetting the actor's actual name, but I remember like he was in that band as the lead singer of that song. It was a popular song last year or so. And also he was in Stranger Things. But anyway, Dylan Feldman kind of looks like that guy. I'll just say that, you know. If I was ever in a roast battle with Dylan Feldman, I'd say, hey, look, it's the guy from Stranger Things.
Yeah, he was on my roast on my birthday. So.
Oh, well, I would have given you that joke if I knew him.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, everybody gets roasted at those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good time.
But I strive to be at the point where I can get roasted, you know. I can't wait for there's going to be a roast of Ruse. I'm saying
You
it
mean
and
like
speaking it into
emotionally or
existence.
to like getting to
Both.
the point? Yeah.
I guess both.
I got a stage. I'd like to facilitate that if you want.
You guys can roast me.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I've had enough comedians on my podcast. It could just be a bunch of former guests all talking shit.
You'd have to. Yeah, exactly.
Ruse's dog is so skinny.
Oh, it would
It's
probably
getting
get
really
more
personal.
Yeah, it would probably have to get more cutthroat than that.
Yeah, well, I know. I'm just thinking of like things they could observe, like in my apartment, because they know me on an intimate level. Is the problem? They've been inside my living space.
That's not a problem. That's a good thing. Yeah. So, well, we would ask you for like, you know, like on my roast, we just asked for like, you know, 10 pieces of information about you. Try to make it something we can work with.
Okay.
You know, and so yeah, everyone sent pieces of information. I said do more if you want. A lot of the comics gave us like 50 things. You know, so it was fun, man.
That's what I've learned about a lot of these roast things is like, I think when I had Harold Patrick on here, I was asking him about like how the process works going into those. And it's like usually they'll sit down together and they'll give each other like a description of themselves and then like maybe some fun facts. And then that's all going to get used to talk shit about them later. And I thought that was funny just because like in my mind, you know, these roast battles are based on rap battles. Rappers would never do that. They would never sit down with each other and be like, by the way, my girl's name is Shaniqua. Like, I live on this boulevard.
It wouldn't end well. It would get violent real quick.
That would be the worst idea. Because they get really personal in rap battles. So it's just funny to me that comedians are so nice to each other about it. Because it's so different.
I used to love those rap battles. I used to watch them when I was really young. I remember there was a guy named Sirius Jones, and he was just so funny.
A lot of it is just being funny. A lot of it is like finding a way to be humorous and also talk shit.
Yeah, like Lil Wayne was really good at that.
Mm-hmm.
2 Chainz is really good at that. You know, like Lil Wayne used to just go on songs and he would, you know, I'm trapped in a maze, therefore I am a maze in. And like, that's why when people go, oh, they do it with a smile, they go, oh. That's like a different kind of form of laughing in a way, you know?
Yeah.
You feel that joy. It is kind of, they're punchlines.
Yes, they are.
You know?
I think Future does the same thing. There's a lot of rappers that do that. Soulja Boy does that. A lot of his stuff is like tongue in cheek. Yeah. Like the song, it was on the same album as Soulja Boy Tell 'Em. It's probably my favorite Soulja Boy song. It's not called Soulja Boy Tell 'Em. The song is called Crank That. I think it was on the same album as Crank That.
Yeah.
But it was you there, you. Over there. You ever hear the song by Soulja Boy? Like
Maybe
the whole,
if I hear it, I'll know it.
It's literally the whole song is him going, "Hey, you there, you over there." Like that's the song, and it's just like this is the same guy that just made "Crank That Soulja Boy." Like he's putting this on the same album. Like the fact that he does not give a fuck. Like because that's such a funny thing to do.
He has a song called Stove. Talk about not giving a fuck. He has a song called Stove, and he just goes. Stove, 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 stove for like 30 seconds. And then he has one line. And then he goes, stove, 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 stove. It's such a funny song. And in a really kind of, I'm ashamed to say it, it's fucking catchy.
Yeah.
It's like I listen to it and I laugh, but I find myself going like this. It's probably not good for my brain, my mental development at all, but it is funny.
He's kind of ahead of his time. Like he's always been ahead of his time, but he still is. You know, like that's how I look at it. Like Soulja Boy, it's the same thing I was talking about. Like the TikTok like no joke humor. That's kind of what he's doing with a song like that. There's no idea to it. It's just him doing nothing, but that's what's funny. You can't go too far in that direction because you don't want to be known as a joke rapper. That's kind of the problem. Is you can.
Playboi Carti did that, and he's huge.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what the hell he's saying or talking about, and he's not talking about anything. But there's people that like I've heard. Like my sister's boyfriend was like, dude, he's better than any. He's the best artist that's ever lived. And so I started just throwing out names of legends like from the '70s, and I'm like, he's the best.
Playboi Carti.
I was like, this is probably an opinion that a lot of people his age hold.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. And I think, like, for me, it's hard to put into perspective. And it makes me understand why people will put you in a box naturally, no matter what you do. And so, like, with the type of hip-hop I make, people will naturally say, like, oh, like, you're like Eminem, like, you're trying to sound like Kendrick. Like, they just associate me with all of these things that they think I sound like. Because hip-hop is so much more... Like, I don't even think of Playboi Carti really as hip-hop in my mind. Like, I don't even think of, like, a lot of stuff that would be considered hip-hop because it's almost like it was originally hip-hop and then it became a bunch of other shit.
Yeah, there's so many subgenres to everything now, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's, like, 20 different types of rap that there is.
But it's all just called rap.
Right, yeah. I mean, but, yeah, it has so many different subgenres. And I kind of hold the opinion... that I was one of those guys that grew up on lyrics, and lyrics always mattered more to me than beat.
That's how I am.
Yeah. Like, even if the beat sucked, but I liked the lyrics, I would listen to it, then I would kind of learn to like the beat in a way. But, yeah, I mean...
Like,
now,
you feel the beat first, but it's the words that are really resonating with you.
Right.
Like, for me, it's the words that always sold a song. Like, of course, I can tell if a song sounds good, but it's like when you hear... Like, I want an idea to be communicated. Like, I want to feel like there's something happening lyrically here. Like, there's something artistic happening. Because if lyrics are basic, it kind of pisses me off. I'm like, this is nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was really slow to take on the new generation of mumble rap and stuff. I was one of those old head haters.
I'm still sort of. And I just have to tell myself, like, this is not made for me.
It's because you actually rap, so you hate that.
Because it makes me mad.
Yeah, because it's like these
that's not what we're doing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, now it's about being a viral sensation, and artists come and go. I feel like Drake is going to be one of the last ones that like hold that reign that they did. Like when I was growing up, it was Eminem, then 50 Cent, then Lil Wayne, then Drake. I don't think
people
that's
forget 50 in that list. People forget 50.
Yeah, I remember 50 Cent was just everyone was crazy about him, including me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you know, just
it's like a Mount Rushmore. All those four.
I think because that was who was at the top throughout my life. They were just everything. They could not fail. And then I don't think that's going to happen anymore. I think it's just going to be viral sensations that come and go, so that way the labels can kind of control them a little more. You know, as soon as they become disposable, get rid of the next viral sensation. So, and that ruins the depth of music a lot.
Because it makes people, it's kind of like when you have a hack comic, you get really popular. It makes it so you feel like people are looking at comedy wrong. Like, oh, this is what they think comedy is. We don't want them to get the wrong idea. It feels the same way to me when like a bad rapper, in my mind, someone who's not talent, like doesn't have the lyrical prowess that I feel is required to be a hip hop artist.
Right.
When I see that type of person get a lot of notoriety, to me it's like, oh, well, people are gonna keep misunderstanding what, and it makes me question myself in the end. It's like, maybe I'm misunderstanding what rap is now. Like, maybe I'm the one that's wrong, and I like to think I'm ahead of my time. I like to think that it's actually gonna turn back around, and I'm hoping you're wrong. I'm hoping there's like enough reality in that world that it just trumps everything else. You have these people come around, and they are just so themselves and actual like MCs, like actual rappers, because there's a certain like, I think rap is like comedy in that it's so dependent on your individual performance. It's so dependent on your ability to take a concept and translate it into this format and get it across in a way that is unique but is also stimulating to an audience. I can make you think about this in a way you wouldn't have thought about this otherwise, but I'm doing it in an entertaining way. And you can communicate ideas you could never communicate otherwise through such a medium. Like, and in that, you're kind of like casting a spell, you're like weaving this web, and you have to do that with a certain finesse. And so, like, to me, that's what writing is. That's all of writing. Like, that, I think if you're writing jokes, if you're writing poetry, if you're writing essays, like all that shit feeds into itself because you get into the habit of communicating your ideas. And the better you do that, the better you are at almost everything else. But like, if you're not looking at it from that grand scale, I just think that you could never possibly get better and better at it. And so I just hope that enough rappers come around and they're thinking like that. They're thinking like this is like this thing that they're able to do with their words. Like, to me, every single thing I say in a rap song is important. Every single word I have to like feel it in my soul, or else why would I even write this?
Right.
And I don't even understand how to write something that doesn't mean much. I couldn't even do that if I tried. And so it's hard for me to to connect with this.
That was the good thing about having labels. You know, yeah, I mean, it's great that people can put out music on SoundCloud. All they need is just a mic. Spend $100, you get a mic and interface, and you plug it into the computer, you're good to go.
But it's oversaturation.
Exactly. So the labels, you had to kind of catch their attention, and the public had to all agree that this was really good. You know, now it's that viral sensation that they just, you know, take out of the void. They just you get pulled out of the void, and then you're. And
that's the whole industry plant thing now too. A lot of people feel like everything's an industry plant.
I mean, even that term never made sense to me, because it's like the labels, those big companies are going to decide who's big and who's not. Everyone essentially gets planted. Like, even if you make it on your own, they're okay, now we're going to plant you into the mainstream.
Right.
Sign over here. We'll control when you drop music and who you can work with and whatnot.
I think there's a few. I mean, Chance the Rapper kind of popularized it. I don't know how independent he is now, but just like his whole thing was, I'm not selling my music. I'll give my music out for free, and I'm going to stay independent. And that was, I think he's maintained that to this day. In my mind, that's the only way out of that, because you're not going to have. You're just not going to have deals that are going to like favor the artist. Like, never. Every single story ends badly with like rap deals, and with like even Kendrick Lamar just started his own label because of what was happening with his label before, which is like, that's the biggest rapper right now, and he had to make his own label because he was getting fucked over. You'll hear like Snoop Dogg come out and say, I barely make money off of my music. Like, I don't even make money. I make money off of everything else. Like, Spotify pays me nothing. Like, so it's everything in music is like designed to steal your money, pretty much. Like, the labels are, the streaming services are. You kind of just have to be independent. You have to find a way to sustain yourself, you know?
Yeah. You can just go through TuneCore, just pay them a monthly thing, and they just distribute your music on everything.
Yep, there's CD Baby, which is what I use.
Yeah, TuneCore is probably old school. I mean, I
think it's TuneCore, DistroKid, and CD Baby. I think TuneCore's still around.
Yeah.
But that was when you were rapping?
Yeah, this was like 10, 11 years ago.
Yeah. You probably started rapping around what year would that be? It was not long after me.
maybe like 2013, 2014.
The same year as me, pretty much.
Yeah.
That was really like late 2012, like 2013, maybe mid 2012, because I've been rapping for about 13 years. So it's right around the same time we started rapping. Damn, dude. One thing I keep thinking, and I really should start executing upon this. I know enough comedians, and I'm like the rapper guy who knows the comedians. I should get a bunch of comedians on like a cipher. Like I should like get a bunch of you guys under like one cipher. Like, wouldn't that just be hilarious?
Yeah.
I could like lure them into rap.
To make that, to do stuff like that. Yeah.
There's a couple comedians I can think of who did rap songs. I know Chris D'Elia did one, and I was like impressed with the quality of it. Like as a rapper,
Sorry.
You're good. As a rapper, I was watching it, and I was like, dude, this is like not bad, which is saying something. Like he was rapping well, like not even just in the lyrics, but like the delivery made sense. Like I didn't even expect that out of him, and it's kind of what you want as a rapper. You kind of want to just give them like a little sauce. You got to give the people a little sauce, and he did that. He executed well. There's a couple other comedians who have rapped, but they're not coming to mind. There's a porn star who rapped once. I think it was Riley Reid. That's a viral video. Riley Reid rapping. It's so good. What else? I just think like getting people who don't rap to rap is funny. I just think there's something really funny about it, especially if they do it right.
Yeah.
Like if you commit to it and it's good, it's even better. You know, you take it seriously rather than like, oh, we're doing a joke. There's something really funny. I'm laughing just thinking about it. Like you could be one of them since you got experience. You're officially on the list.
Yeah, I'll definitely think about it.
You got a rap voice?
What's that?
You got like a rap voice?
I don't think so.
You just rap in your normal voice?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I maybe get a little louder. You know, I project a little bit, but other than that, yeah, I don't know. I haven't. Again, last time I did it, I was probably like 23 or 24.
Dude, I bet you were fire. I bet it was fire.
I was lyrical, but it's like that. I mixed so shittily that like you could barely even like hear some of the. I got pretty good by the end, but at that point, I was just kind of sick of it. I lost the joy of it. You know.
See, that's what a lot of people don't even know from the outside looking in is like with music, if you're producing it, you're like mixing and mastering yourself. That again, it's a whole other job. Like it's not the same thing as just writing songs and recording them. So like I could see how that would. Oh, it's a shame because like maybe those songs had potential. Maybe if you had it mixed well when you wrote it, you would have stuck with it.
Maybe. I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm happy I'm going down this path.
Was that your rap name, Milo Mack, or is that what was your rap name?
I don't want to say it. It's Young Willie.
My first rap name, it was me and my friend, and he came up. It was gonna be like a rap group, like Bad Meets Evil. So it was me and my buddies. So Bad Meets Evil was Eminem and Royce da 5'9".
Yeah.
This was right after that album came out, and so there was the song "Forever" with Kanye West and Drake and Eminem, and Lil Wayne, and so in that song, Kanye West says, "Rape the game young, you can call me statutory." And so my friend thought we should be called Statutory Evil, and that was our rap name. So I don't know which is worse, Lil Willie or Statutory
Young
Evil.
Willie.
Young Willie.
Yeah.
Lil Willie.
But I spelled
really
it with
bad.
a J too. J-U-N-G. Like
Young Willie.
Like young, yeah.
I would read that as Hung Willie, you know. Young Willie. That is a good one. Wow. Young Willie. That had potential, man. Especially in 2012. You could have been somebody. You could have been the Young Willie.
I mean, I had a great time doing it, like while I was doing it.
Yeah.
But then I just found myself just, oh my God, it's been 4 or 5 months since I've done this. I just wasn't consistent. And it took a lot for me to get inspired. You know? It's, like with comedy, it's easy for me to just constantly just be in that.
So I asked you earlier, like, so was it like you just started, like you went to one open mic? Like how did you kind of
I dabbled a bunch. Like I probably did like 5 or 6 over the span of like 5 or 6 years. So I guess like
tiny little spots.
Yeah, and I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
I just would go up there. I didn't write. I would just go up there. I'm like, I can riff this. But no, and I would just hang out at the Comedy Store all the time, and I was just like, you know what? I just admire this as a spectator.
And I imagine in LA, Comedy Store, you saw all kinds of people.
And there wasn't much security. You could just hang out with them out the back patio.
What?
Yeah, you just sit there and say what's up to them. And like you find yourself in conversations with these people that you see on TV. It was really cool.
That's why I didn't know it was like that.
Yeah, I would go almost every night because I had a stack of free tickets. Yeah, that they got
How
from
did that happen? They just gave them to you?
Well, I was really fucked up. I was really young, you know. I didn't know how to even handle myself. And Pauly Shore, I was being really drunk, and Pauly Shore kicked me out of the patio. He's like, "Get that guy out of here. He's sloppy as hell." And that's kind of all I remember. And then I came back, and there was this other comedian that I always went there to see. I forgot. It's David something. I don't think he really made it out of the Comedy Store. I don't even know if he still does comedy. But anyways, yeah, he liked me because every time they would call his name, I would go, yeah! And a lot of people didn't know him. So he's always like, thanks, man, thanks. And so he heard about me getting kicked out because I told him, yeah, I got kicked out last time. I'm trying to be low-key. He goes, come on. And he took me back to the office. He gave me this whole stack of free entries for 2.
Wow.
So I just went through all of them.
So get shit-faced drunk, you'll get a stack of free tickets at...
Well, I wasn't sure didn't know that was going to happen, you know, so I wouldn't recommend that. Yeah, it was, so yeah, I was just there all the time. And anyways, I moved over here, and I just kind of started having notes of stuff I thought was funny that I collected over the years.
It's interesting that, like, seeing all those people doing it didn't, like, do it for you. You actually had to, like, go away from it to really, like, because I would imagine being in that environment would have, like, lit that fire in you at that point. Like, you would have wanted to start then. I just was
like, yeah.
Maybe were you intimidated a little bit by
I just didn't understand how to write a joke. I understood, like, how, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I understood how comedy worked, like, from an outside perspective. But I didn't know the internal, like, how to write a joke. Like, I kind of, like, when a comedian would be telling a joke, I would see where the punchline is, and I would see where the punchline's going and what's coming.
Yeah.
Like, I would predict, you know, but I didn't know how to do it. You know, it's kind of like someone who watches football and they know everything about, like, a coach, but they can't play.
Yeah. Okay. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like, I didn't know how to play, but I kind of understood how it worked.
Yeah.
But if you put me on that stage, I don't know what the fuck to do.
And it's kind of better that you even had all those years of observation too, right? Like, you got to see a lot more of it before you ever did it. So maybe that helps. Yeah,
for sure. And then I moved over here, and I was talking to this girl, and, like, we broke it off, and I was just like, damn, I need to do something. I kind of wanted to. So I went to an open mic. I had my notes with me, and I saw some of them, and a lot of them were bombing really bad. And I was like, I think my jokes are at least better than some of the people's here. So I went, and I did it, and I got a few laughs. And in my head, I killed it, but I didn't. It was just, I got a couple laughs here and there, which was good enough for me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got this figured out. And then bombed. And then as time went on, I started bombing less and less. And that's kind of what's been going on. I'm bombing less. I still do.
Bombing less. That's the main goal, right?
Yeah.
Every comedian bombs, even the well-established. Like, how are you ever going to test new material and get anywhere? I mean, that's the infinite lesson of all of it, is you have to bomb and you have to fail, and it's never going to end. You just have to keep doing that. And then you just magically get better through failing. Through failing, you improve somehow.
It's a losing game for sure, you know? I mean...
But it's how you, like, it's like you have marble, and then slowly you chip away from it, and all of a sudden you've got a statue, you know? Like, you lose so many times, but all of a sudden it's shaped you into this thing.
Yeah, and the thing is, I started, you know, when I was like 31, you know? So I didn't... A lot of these guys, you know, they'll start really young, and I'll be like, damn, because they're kind of figuring it out the same time that I am.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm like, you're 23 and you got it figured out. I wonder where I'd be if I had been doing this for 10 years.
My friend Rabbi, dude, he was bringing his son on stage.
That's a crazy name. I like it.
Yeah. Rabbi, dude. And so he was going on stage, and he was bringing his son with him, and he was saying, like, his son wanted to go to the open mic and, like, do a joke like he does. And I was just saying to him, like, dude, your son is how old? 6? Like, now is the time. Think about it. Like, he could have 4 years into comedy when he's 9, 10 years old. Like, this guy could be Einstein.
Yeah.
He could be the Einstein of comedy if you start him now.
Yeah.
Because it is kind of a numbers game.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, everyone has a different trajectory, you know, and there's no one way to
you could start when you're 60, and there's no real rules.
Right.
That's the other thing about comedy is that you could be literally any age. There's no requirements. It's kind of, you could be anybody and you could still do it. You could be the person that's the 80-year-old comic, and then when you're 80,
he was in it for the love of the game, and I like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, even if I never make it, if I'm doing open mics for the rest of my life, I'm still gonna do it. I just love this shit so much.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, that's how I feel now. Maybe in 5-10 years I'll feel different, but as the way I feel right now is I could do this for the rest of my life. And Yeah, so I always have to kind of remind myself that I'm in this for the love of the game too, you know, because I'll go and I watch the comedians and I enjoy myself, you know, even if they're eating it and they're not funny, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, I try not to lose that. And there are times, don't get me wrong, I get burnt out where I'll do like 5 mics in a day and I'll be sitting there and I'm like, I'm fatigued. Like, I really don't want to hear any more jokes. That'll happen sometimes. But then the next day, I'm right back at it. I feel ready to get in that environment again. Try it.
Yeah, I think it's a good environment to be in because you're surrounded by people in the same exact position as you, like the same exact position. Like you're all going to an open mic and testing things out. You're all trying to achieve mostly the same goal. Like most of the time, all people want in comedy is to make people laugh. That's all you want. And so, like, how do we get there? And I think that it's just like being surrounded by those people does something for you too. You know, like, and also like those friends that you make, like they kind of push you in that direction. And like, I think that there's just something about like having support, like having that support that I think it keeps you going. Like it gives you a whole exterior motive that you wouldn't otherwise have, you know?
And that's something that I've gotten through with, like, I've developed like a cool community of friends from Miki's, and also having a girlfriend that, like, you know, she's very supportive. It's kind of like that. I find a lot of peace in that too. Mm-hmm. So through her, and, you know, like Marcos is a great example. There's times where I'll just not be confident in this new material, and and the other day he goes, "Don't be a pussy, just go do it." And I need to hear that sometimes. And I was very appreciative of him saying that to me.
Yeah.
He's like, "Let's go, come on." And I was like, "Yeah." And I'm not sure I would have gone and done a mic that day. I would have probably just sat there and tried to figure out how to do it better. I went and I did it, and it worked out. So, so it's definitely really good to have someone, you know, having some supportive people in your life.
You said before we started recording here, you had a funny thing relating to Marcos when you said you were coming on this show or something.
Oh, yeah. He was like, he messaged me like, "Yo, I'm on Ruse Radio right after you." And I was like, "What time?" He's like 12 or something. And I was like, okay, good. Because if he was like, if I was about to get offended. He's like, "Yeah, I'm on at 10 and he's on at 10:05. It's like, "Hey, this is Milo. Goodbye." And I was like, I hope it's not like 10:30.
It's always hard to do that because, like, the thing about a podcast is, like, even when people ask me, like, how long is it going to be? What I've learned to say is, like, at least an hour. That's usually what I'll prepare them for, is at least an hour. But, like, I've had a couple now where it's just randomly 4 hours. So it was Emily Ogle and then Jason Melton. Those two. And then another one now, Nikki Darko, where it's like, we're just sitting here talking. It could be as long as we want, really. Yeah. So it ends up being 4 hours. And so if I schedule 2 on the same day, it's like I have to think logistically. Like, okay, so how am I not, like, restricting myself too much here? Because I think what I did with you and him is you're at 10, he's at 2. And originally you were at 11. And then I messaged you and I said, "Hey, would you be able to do it an hour earlier?" Yeah. And then because that worked, we have that extra hour of wiggle room. Mm-hmm. But, like, it's just, you know, it's just... plus, you know, my dog needs walkies. There's that too. So
dog needs walkies, yeah.
But yeah, Marcos is a super cool guy. It's his second time on the show, and also he's the reason you're here because he messaged me and said, like, he's done this a couple times now with Natalie and then you, where he hit me up and he said, "Hey, like, I have a couple people who I think would be good for the show." I think maybe even Owen. I think maybe he recommended Owen too. So which I love that he does that because, like, it's kind of, for me, it makes me even feel good about it because it's like, oh, well, if he approves, I know he's cool, so he's going to send me cool people, and he hasn't failed. Yeah, he keeps sending me, you weirdos.
Yeah. Yeah, Marcos is great. I really like having him, like, in my corner. He's great. He's
a genuine dude. That's what you need. It's just real people giving you real advice and, like, you know. I think I met him at James Najjar's apartment comedy show, Cozy Corner. He had performed there, and I just happened to see him there, and it was exactly what I told you before. He was about to leave, and, like, he was literally, I didn't even get to say hi to him or anything, and I always try to say hi to all the comics just to make sure to at least say hi, and they see my face. And so he, like, pops out the back door, you know, the nice guy that he is. He's like, "Hey, guys, I got to get out of here. It was nice seeing all of you." And so I was like, oh, you know, I reached in my pocket. I'm like, "Hey, by the way, I got a podcast," blah, 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 you know, I give him my spiel. And he reached back out, and then here we are. And, Yeah, dude, I'm just glad that again, the reason that you always want to just put that out there, just put those feelers out there, because I could have never predicted through doing that one thing, that one little interaction with him. Now I've met all you guys.
Yeah.
And it's like, and there's so many different little nets of communities that you can just kind of find your way into as long as you do that. You just say hi and you just enter that circle that you think you might reject you,
Yeah.
Because I always feel that way a little bit. I'm like, oh, these guys might not like me. And then it's rarely ever. Usually people are cool. If you're cool, they're cool. Almost always.
Yeah. Yeah, I just try to let it flow naturally, There's some people that will just throw themselves into a circle and it works out for them. I guess I just haven't that's not kind of my way of doing things, I guess. I just kind of
Which it doesn't have to be, it could be that actually makes you more appealing, like to be the person that's not trying to win everybody over and be a part, like that might actually be what people like.
Don't get me wrong, I want to be liked and stuff like that. That's,
don't we all?
I'm not better than that. I'm not above that. But yeah, I mean, my thing is, it's I just don't want to like be like a thirsty guy or anything, even though sometimes you got to be, I guess. But I just try. I mean, I got love for everybody, and I think there's layers to people, so I try. And I just don't like to have empty, phony conversations. I like to I like authentic. I don't know.
No, I agree with you. I mean, it's kind of I'm pretty bad at having a base level conversation. I do have like things that I will do to like start a like I've noticed the weather's an EC1. Like I've noticed things I'll say when I'm like greeting my guests outside and stuff, like, oh, it's nice out here, like blah blah blah. Like there's things like that, but I'm kind of really bad at just having a base level. It's bad because it makes me stick around too long and talk to people too long. But it's like I want to get to the bottom of things. Like I want to understand,
Yeah. Yeah, I want to feel, I want to laugh. I want to, whatever it is. I want to talk to the real you.
Yeah, and I think that like when you have that kind of approach, that's how people show you the real them. Like it's like an unspoken agreement, like if I'm being real with you and I'm being open with you and I'm interested, then I'm interesting, it makes you want to open up and it makes you want to talk about it and you want to, and like I've had multiple times where I've like done this show and at the very end they'll say like, man, I said some stuff on here I probably shouldn't have said. It's because I'm me and I just get them to talk. That's all I did. I just got them to share. But I love that. I love when people are willing to share with me because, bro, like people will say the craziest shit. You just got to be open to listening and they will say anything to you.
Yeah.
Things you would never even come up with in your wildest dreams, people will tell you.
This is my first time doing a podcast like this, so.
That's cool, man. Yeah. That's good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
There's not too many like, see, I didn't realize... I don't know. I think for one, there's just not like a bunch of Chicago podcasts. And if there are, it's kind of, again, like an inner circle type thing where it's like they'll have a few people, they'll have a lot of the people on, but then they'll have like repeat guests a lot of the time. And for me, the fun part is constantly finding new people. Mm-hmm. Like you never know what someone else might have to offer to you. And again, it's like that networking thing. Like you're expanding that network automatically just by meeting these people because you're talking to them, you're getting to know them. So like to me that's the fun part, but I just don't think there's that many. I think there's some but not many. And with Chicago comedy in particular, it kind of surprises me because the comedy podcast market is huge. It's huge. So, but as I say that, I can think of a few comedians that do it. Do you know Christian Hemingsmeyer, I think is how you pronounce it?
Probably. I've probably seen all these people.
Yeah.
It's just the names, when you go to the mics, you hear all these names all the time.
I know.
So it's like hard to keep up with.
You get fatigue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My brain has a very finite amount of information it can retain. So.
Me too. And like Nicky B, we mentioned him earlier. He got started at your open mic, which is awesome.
Yeah, he did his first day. Yeah.
He told me his memory is like amazing. Like that's his one, like his golden thing is his memory. He can remember everything. He was quoting lines from 8 Mile.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I can memorize. One thing I'm good at memorizing is like lyrics, but other than that, I don't know how to kind of distribute that to other parts of my life.
Yep, and it pisses me off because like I can memorize lyrics, but how the fuck can I not remember this guy's name? I've met him 10 times. Mm-hmm. I've met him 10 times, and I still don't know his name, but I could tell you every single word of my 4-minute song with no hook. What's going on there?
Yeah, that's true. I cut back on alcohol like severely, so I'm thinking maybe that'll help kind of, stop damaging my brain cells.
Here, let me grab it. It's right over here. I mean, alcohol probably helps. Alcohol is probably not helping your memory. That's definitely true, because what's probably happening is, even at open mics, it's bad because you'll meet all these people. You'll be like, I met you?
Yeah.
We met? Because you were drunk when you met them. Yeah, I mean, alcohol is probably one of the worst things you could possibly have for your memory. And it's weird to me because so many comedians drink before on stage, like before they go on stage. I'm like, how the fuck do they remember?
This month is like the first time I've ever done comedy like without alcohol.
It must be disorienting.
It is. I feel like I'm rediscovering it. I feel like I'm doing it from a whole new stance, and I feel a lot more, But I'm starting to, and like another thing is, you never know who's really paying attention to you, watch you, or who knows you, because you got the light on you. It's a dark room. You pop in, you do your set, and then you might not see that, and then you go to the next mic and that guy's there, and you leave before his set. And so, and you're just going up there, and like if you eat it, this person might think you suck, but then this person saw you do well a few times, so he thinks you're funny. But yeah, with alcohol, it's just I kind of didn't care. I didn't really feel much, and I wouldn't take stock from how my set went. I would just go, whatever. I'm just gonna keep doing it. But without drinking, I'm like, okay, I need to fix this. I need to not do this, or I need to take that. That's a very unlikable thing to say, And that's the one thing one avenue of comedy that I really struggled with, and I'm trying to get better, is likability.
You were not a critical drinker.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll get drunk and be all philosophical and have great conversations and have all that stuff, but
you weren't like reflecting.
When it comes to comedy, it was not doing me any favors.
So in regular life, it was fine.
Yeah, well, it wasn't. Yeah,
fine enough.
Socially, it was fine, but
and likability, and
yeah,
so
likability is something I really struggle with, and I'm trying to figure it out. Like I go up there and I would just say I would just be like an asshole and douchebag and wonder why people didn't laugh. And I'm like, I would go look at the videos. Like now that I'm sober, I'm like, oh, okay.
What? Yeah. How are you being an asshole?
I would just make like fucked up jokes and like just say it arrogantly and like confidently. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out how to be more likable on stage. Because I see comics, some of my friends even, they're just super likable people. So automatically the audience just want them to win,
You need to like watch those like manipulative, like how to get a girl. Like there's videos where they'll like try to teach you social skills through this like veil of how to manipulate people, but really they're just teaching you how to be a person,
Yeah, and social environments is not a problem. It's really just
on stage.
I'm talking strictly in comedy. Like
do you think like you adapt a personality when you go on stage? Like you try to be something, and like when you do that, that kind of forces you to act differently?
I mean, maybe that's what it is, but I'm trying to figure it out. I don't think I'm like that, but sometimes like my buddy, he tells me, you just need to like. I have had a friend who tells me I look like I'm doing an act up there, and that a couple months ago. So I took that, and I'm really trying to make it just as authentic as I can. And I stopped doing really. I don't know. I try to make it kind of related to something that only I can say. But I mean, of course, I'll make jokes about general things. But
that's interesting, though. Especially because you've done comedy for a while, so it's not like this is like you just started and now you're like you've done it for a while and you're still like readapting that.
Well, I think that's always there. I think you're gonna always constantly have to kind of adapt and evolve, in certain ways. And I've been doing it for less than 2 years, but I definitely every like 6 or 7 months I'll have like a light bulb go off and be like, oh shit, okay, I discover a whole new way of like doing it, and I'll look at like open mics I did at the very beginning. I'll do and look at ones I did even a year ago, and I'm just like, oof, and I'm sure I'm gonna do that about the comedy I'm doing now.
Yeah, I think like with an audience, Because one thing I'll see people do a lot is like if it's not connecting, they come off unlikable. It's kind of just because they like. It's almost like they're like fighting with the audience in this weird way. They're like they're like trying to get you on their side, and they're putting that into the air, like that energy. Like I'm trying to win you, and we just all feel that. Whereas if
I'm sure I'm guilty of that sometimes.
Yeah,
I think I've been a lot better lately. But I'm definitely. I think I've had that,
and it's like I feel like it'd be easy to do that and not see it, but like once you bomb enough times through that doing that, you kind of have to start to like look in the mirror and be like, what the fuck am I doing wrong?
and that's exactly what I do now. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you say look in the mirror, I mean literally, I'll actually look into a mirror.
Yeah.
Sometimes and try to, because I heard someone talk about it. Something you got to know what you look like. And that's a part of it. You got to know what you look like. You got to know what you sound like, how people perceive you before you get on there and address it. That's why sometimes a lot of comics will go up there, I know I look like so-and-so, and like the audience laughs because you just self-deprecate a little bit. And now they kind of want you to kind of win a little more, you know? So, that's why self-deprecative humor is a good way of going up, I think.
I think so. It reminds me of 8 Mile, with B Rabbit calling out Clarence and his parents, and like talk about he's gonna say all this shit about me. Like once you do that, you disarm them because
take the bullets out the gun.
Yeah, there's just whatever they were already thinking, you've addressed it. Like it's out of the way now. They can't even do anything about it, And also like in comedy, it's so much that it's so much what you look like, what you sound like. If you're the comic that is the 23-year-old skinny white guy that looks fresh out of high school, that's what you have to address. You have to talk about that, or else it's the elephant in the room. Or if you're the like super duper fat guy who's just super duper fat, he's super black. You have to talk about how you're super black and you're super fat because we all already know, we see it on you. Like it could be anything.
That's like Owen Monahan can do certain jokes and they're hilarious. Mm-hmm. And if I do those jokes, it's like, what?
Yeah.
It's like his personality, his voice, his look goes with certain,
absolutely
material. Mine goes a different area.
Mm-hmm.
You
literally couldn't just take his jokes and say them.
And he probably wouldn't be able to do that to mine.
Yeah. Have you seen the comedy show they do here in the city? I'm forgetting who runs it, but she basically put together a show where two comedians, it's called Joke Swap. And so
I've seen it's at Lincoln Lodge.
Yes. And so
I haven't been or anything, but
it's a fun concept though, because it's kind of that. It's like I'm gonna write jokes based on the looks and sound of this person, and then they have to say those jokes. Or how does it work? Yeah, you're writing the other person's jokes.
That is a really fun concept.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Because it's kind of like a roast, but backwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you're kind of roasting yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely want to check that out. I definitely will. I want to look into that.
They just had one as we recorded. I think it was just yesterday they did it. I'm pretty sure. So it's Fridays. I think it's like one Friday a month. I think.
Well, maybe I'll go next time.
Yeah.
Because that's definitely a really fun concept. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I mean, I like ones like that where you're kind of forcing the comedians to think. They have to like use their creativity. In my rapper brain, that's exciting. That's fun. Like it's like you're forcing them to write a new rap just for this show. They have to write a new joke just for this show, and they want it to be funny. But like everything is kind of ephemeral in that. It's all just in that moment, and it's not gonna be anywhere else. Yeah. That's how the roast battles are too. Like it's just for this person this night, and if it bombs, it bombs. But that's the fun of it,
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, that roast that we did was one of the most fun nights I've ever had in comedy.
I bet, dude.
It was so much fun.
For your, I don't know if you said it on here, but you told me before it was for your birthday. So you had a birthday roast at the location where, this card he gave me, the open mic that this man runs. Yeah, but it was there at Mickey's Park, yeah? Mm-hmm. And who was on? I know it was Natalie, it was Owen. Who else was there?
There was Jim Balderson. We wanted Marcos to come, but I suspect that he fled. He went to Puerto Rico. He didn't want it. He's like, I don't like being mean to people, which is also another like little reason why I love him so much. He's too sweet to do a roast. We had Jenny Weaver. Let's see, Todd. We had a lot of people on there. Nikki B was on it. Jason Isaac, Dylan Feldman, and a bunch of other people. I don't know.
And
Mike Bergeron.
Was it everything you had dreamed? Was it what you had expected it to be, or was it even better?
Both. It was everything I wanted.
Now, how much coordination went into like making it happen? Because you said before you had to you wrote down all those facts about yourself and all that.
I just made a group chat of everyone. It wasn't too much coordination. I got there a little early. We had a little podium. And so I just asked everyone to just send in their information into the group chat because everyone roasting everyone. Mm-hmm. And then, it was so much fun. It wasn't much coordination. Just everyone show up, and we packed the place out because a roast is a really fun form of comedy to watch. Just people just tearing each other down, but they're laughing about it. Mm-hmm. It's fun. It's a fun form of comedy.
Yeah, because I mean, I didn't realize there was so much we're all giving each other facts. That's probably how most of them go. But yeah, I think it is fun. I think what's fun about it is I think people like seeing people talk shit. I think people want to see that. I think people
it sells. I mean, it's in every avenue of life. You look at these reality shows.
Yeah,
it's like these Real Housewives.
It's like drama.
Yeah. I hate drama. I don't know. Do you?
That's
all
really?
You watch.
And that's all that ever with stuff that goes viral, it's usually it's some dramatic thing that happened. It's always something like that. It's always something that's designed to kind of pull at your heartstrings a little bit. So I feel like a roast, kind of oh, I can't believe he said that about that guy. That's kind of the sell on is you're gonna go that far. The farther you go on a roast, the better. Really, I mean, that's usually as long as it's within the bounds of reason. We're friends and we're saying this about each other. I think that there's something about in comedy too. In comedy, comedians will be honest with each other almost to a fault, know. So if you put those two things together, you might say something wild about your friend, You could never tell him in any other context. Yeah. This guy is such a cokehead.
Yeah. We also had Matt Sullivan on there. I can't believe I forgot to mention him. He's really killing it on the roast battle right now. He's great. He was on there too. He's another young fella. He started semi recently, but he's got it figured out. He's 23. He's got it figured out. So that's another guy who was on there that I really like. I'll send him your way.
Yes. Yeah. Give me a whole army of you people.
Got you. Yeah.
It's a bunch of minions.
People would love to be on here, I'm sure. You'll be real busy.
I mean, it's cool just to just to give comics a place to talk about shit even.
And they love it too.
Yes, exactly.
I'm sure. Otherwise they wouldn't do this,
They could all start a podcast. You guys could all start your own podcast. I'm not stopping you. It's all you got to do. All you really need is 2 microphones and a camera. It's really all you need.
Yeah.
I've been saying this forever. Everybody should probably, if you have the capability to do it. And what I've learned through doing podcasts with comedians is they want to talk. They're excited to have the opportunity to talk, And what I like about
I was excited for this, man.
Yeah.
When you asked when you messaged me, I messaged you.
I thought I messaged you because I thought I remember that. You know what? Marcos had said something to me, and I think I told him to have you message me. Yeah, I think that's what I for some reason. I think that's what I said. Yeah. So that's how that works.
Yeah.
But just it's and that's cool. To me, that's exciting. Just because I like the community. To me, that's the point. That's the point of anything you're ever doing. You want to build a communal thing. That's why I was saying earlier, it's about the real connections you make. You don't want just an imaginary group of people, an invisible group of people that are all your fans, but you can't see any of them. You don't know where they are. They're all in New Zealand or something. Right. You're super famous there for some reason. That's what the internet will give you. It'll give you just a bunch of random people scattered all over the place, to the point where you can have 1 million followers. But do you? Do you have can you sell these people a shirt? Would they buy something if you sold it? Because that's what's real. Or do they feel connected with you? Do they feel personally when they think about you? Or is it just 1 million followers that doesn't really... But people chase numbers instead of the actual thing.
Yeah.
And the actual thing to me has always been when I perform and then someone comes up to me afterwards, they're like, oh, that was so cool. When you did this. When they just say something I did that made a difference to them. That's all I had here, ever. It's all I had to hear. When I when I see that like so and so knows so and so because they saw so and so on a podcast that I made or something, like, or even if someone told me, like I listened to, like you said that you brought this album because you saw my episode with Ryan Kruger and we mentioned MF Doom. To me, that's super fucking cool because that whole chain of events I could have never predicted just because I did a podcast with Ryan Kruger. Right. I wouldn't think that random thing we talked about would inspire you to do that, but it's those little differences. That's what's important. That's what's real. Like that's actually what's most valuable in the end, but you can't see all that in the moment if you're like, oh, I don't have 10,000 followers. I don't have 50,000 followers. Exactly. I don't have a big fan base of people to where I can go to any city like these other comedians. Like whatever your reason is for not being successful enough, you miss all that shit. And like that's the most, to me, that's all I ever want to do. So that's the cool part. It makes me sad that people don't think like that, you know? Because it's those little, it's that community of people that's roasting you. Like they're all my friends and we're all talking shit about each other, but we can all do that and we're all a community that we've built over time. Like that's what life is about, is that. Yeah. Yeah.
And it makes you closer. I feel like if you, like I felt closer to a lot of the comics after we roasted each other. Yeah. Because you're cutting them deep, you're getting real personal, and then you have a drink afterwards and celebrate. It brings you together. It's kind of like, have you ever gotten in a fight with someone and then made up, and then you find yourself closer to that person for some reason?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you gotta, I think it's like you both went through it together almost. It's like associative trauma. There's a word for that. Trauma bonding. That's what it is.
It's and then they feel like they have more to prove to you as far as like loyalty because you had that serious following. I don't know.
I think so.
That's just kind of something I've experienced.
Yeah.
It's like people that I've had falling outs with, like bad falling outs with, and when we got rekindled it or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I find that our relationship is a little more stable. We have a little more loyalty to each other.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think there's no long-term relationship that doesn't have that if you're close enough with someone. Like if you guys are actually close and on an intimate level, like it's just kind of impossible to not have like serious disagreements over time. Like,
right.
It's just not you don't want to be best friends with someone who's exactly like you because they'll never push you or change you.
Grow.
Yeah. And I think that like, it's almost like a test provided by life is kind of how I think about it. Like it's kind of testing you. It's kind of like pushing, like, is this, like it makes you think, is this person, like if I'm fighting with this person, do I really care about them? Like, should I even be friends with this person? Like there's all kinds of things that would occur to you because of that fight that would never occur to you otherwise. Like it's God testing you, baby. What are you going to do? And so, and sometimes that is the answer. Sometimes it's like, this person's not really my friend. That's really what it is. And other times it's like, oh, they're trying to help me. Or other times it's like, they're being an idiot and I have to tell them they're being an idiot. Like it could be anything, but there's going to be disagreements in a real friendship. Always. And that's how you know you're friends. You know? I remember I had a friend come and visit me and like right before he was about to leave, I can't remember like what it was, but he just like, he kept like kind of know-it-alling me. Like he was like, I would say like something and he'd be like, kind of like ignore what I said and then just do whatever anyway. Like he knows better, which was fine. But like over time, it kind of started to like get at me. Like, why is he doing that? Like, so I remember when he was about to leave, there was this kind of like uncomfortable thing happening. And it made me think like, he's kind of making me mad, but I guess that means he's really my friend. Because I'm not really mad. But at the same time, like I'm too intimate with this guy. That's what's happening. We're too close right now.
That happened to me with roommates. Like when I was younger, I was like, I can't live with people because anyone I live with, I grow to resent them one way or another. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. I mean, I'm about to move in with my girlfriend now, but I'm ready for that now.
That's the ultimate test.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
But we're a relatively new relationship, but we spend every single day at my apartment staying over and everything. So we already got a kind of a taste of it. But once we remove the element of option from her to be able to go home, not that she would, but like if something happened where she needed space, she could just go back to her place.
Well, exactly.
But now we're removing that element of choice. And now she's, if she needs space, she's going to just have to go to the room and I'll be in the living room or vice versa, assuming that neither one of us has anywhere to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is the ultimate test.
Good luck.
I think it's going to work out. I'm optimistic.
Oh, I'm optimistic for you.
Thanks.
But that's always, and my sister, she's having her boyfriend move in with her, and they've dated for about 2 years. And I told her the same thing. She's like, why would you say that? Why would you say she was mad?
Sounds like there's some doubt in her mind then.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like if I reacted hostilely to you saying good luck, you know,
Yeah.
I'd have been like, what do you mean by that? It's going to be fine, bro. What are you talking about? Like, really, there's some insecurity there.
Yep.
And yeah, so, but I'm really confident in it. She's great.
That's great, man.
yeah.
I mean, it's and again with like community, a good partner can do so much for you.
And I completely just removed myself from the idea that I kind of viewed myself as undateable, and I embraced it. I was like happy about it. I was like, fuck this, dude. I can do this on my own. I'll be that uncle, that guy who whatever dies alone, but like I'll have a cool ass life, you know, whatever. But then I met her, and she happened to me, you know. And then so I remembered all the benefits of having someone, and she's the first person I dated that's like fully supportive and like in a genuine way. You know, she makes me a better person. I make her, you know, it's not like a zero sum thing. We both benefit from this relationship of being together, you know? Like I try to make her better because she's a theater professional singer, actor and stuff like that. So she understands performing. And so, but not comedy, but so she can appreciate it. You know, sorry, my eyes are a little itchy. I'm actually allergic to cats, but it's not bad.
Oh, shit.
No worries. It takes like 7 hours for the allergy reaction, but I guess I took my...
At his show tonight, it's just going to he's be crying on stage.
Oh, you
Excuse
guys
me,
like
I did a podcast earlier.
He was really mean. But yeah, so it is really nice to have a relationship where, I mean, even like when you fail, you have this comfort of knowing that you still have someone there to kind of... I know it sounds so corny to say this, but it's true. I feel like she's there with me, like when I'm, you know, performing, and whether I do well or do bad.
This guy's like he's in World War II, and he's pulling out his locket, and he opens it up, and there's his lady. You know?
Yeah, it's exactly like that.
Yeah.
It's the same exact thing.
She's here with me now.
Yeah, that's how it feels. Even though she's 15 minutes away from me in my apartment, and I'm up here talking about my balls.
See, like. Do you still feel you don't feel codependent in that though, right?
I don't,
because
that's
I know
the
not danger.
To. Right, and we've talked about it, and so that's the thing. Like I'd make it so that I want to make it so that I'm good on my own. Like I'd still be doing these things that I'm doing, if I was not with her.
Yeah,
you know.
My big breakup that I ever had, it was right after like a couple years after high school, and we were together for 3 or 4 years, and looking back, I realized how codependent I was because of how that hit me, you know.
And it's a natural process to be codependent because, like, you know, you naturally start taking this role or that role. You share roles, you know. Like, for instance, we're already, like, I'll cook one day, she'll cook the next. And it's not, like, an agreement or anything. It's just kind of like when one person's tired, one of us will recognize it and we'll just go ahead and do it. We like doing favors for each other, making each other's life easier.
Yeah.
You know? But at the end of the day, yeah, she wants to maintain her independence, and so do I. And so, you know, there's going to be times where she might not be around, I might not be around, and we don't want to lose sight of ourselves. So she's still, like last night, she went out to the theater things with her friends, and she's with her friends right now, and that's good. You know, I think we both should have that space, and I get my space through comedy. She likes it, and I think that it's good for us. You know, there's a lot of relationships I had where we had nothing to do. We were just around each other all day, and you start kind of nipping at each other a little bit. You know,
yeah.
And you don't have any ambitions and goals and chasing them.
And there's no real perfect relationship, so it's hard to tell when you're in that situation whether or not you're doing the right thing. Like, are we supposed to be hanging out all the time? Like, what are we supposed to be doing?
Yeah, I brought up that she was hanging out with her friends because she was telling me, like, you know, she's had relationships with guys that, like, were not, just had a problem with her going out with their friends. And there are guys that are like that, you know, that they're like, I don't know if that's a...
Oh, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if that was like the sound, but yeah, so
everything disappeared. The whole podcast is gone. I'm kidding.
You know, I got to tell you something. I've been needing to pee for 30 minutes, but I want, is that going to stop the podcast?
No, you can pee.
All
yeah,
right, cool.
I will allow it. Ruse will allow this man to urinate.
I just didn't know if I was like, well, I want to like talk.
There was when Adam Sandler was on Joe Rogan, that was how it ended. Adam Sandler's like, oh man, I have to pee. And then Joe Rogan's like, okay, we can end now. And so then you could see Adam Sandler be like, oh no, I didn't really realize my pee was going to end the whole show.
I was about to say, I thought you were going to say, when Adam Sandler, I thought you were going to say was on this show. I was like, really? Adam Sandler was on here? It just came
in my dreams.
That would be cool.
That's the goal, right?
He's a cool guy.
Has some random names.
He was like my original role model before Eminem.
Really?
Yeah, I watched like Big Daddy and Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison. I was like, and he was my hero.
Dude, Adam Sandler is the guy.
He was my absolute hero for a long time.
He's still so.
Yeah, I still love him. Like even like his bad movies, I love them. You know, Funny People was one of my favorite movies. Uncut Gems, my brother hates that movie. He says it's the worst movie he's ever seen. I like that movie too.
Objectively wrong. That's objectively
Thank you.
wrong.
I'm gonna show him this part, and then he's gonna be, y'all are just dumb, dog.
No.
Where's your bathroom? Is it there?
Right there.
All right, cool. I'll be right back.
Yeah, freestyling in a group cipher is a whole different thing. Because, I mean, I feel like to me, even freestyling and rapping are two different things. So if you freestyle a lot, you have a whole different muscle. Like, I remember I had a friend...
For sure.
Who he would just freestyle. That's all he did. Like,
yeah.
And it was kind of, like, mind-boggling to me. Because I was, like, telling him, like, how are you going to perform, like, these songs? Like, how are you ever going to do this stuff on stage? Because some rappers... freestyle like Lil Wayne, but they don't actually freestyle, they punch in. So it's like every 4 lines, 8 lines, like they're coming up with it in the studio every 4 bars.
Yeah.
It's a little different than like everything's on the spot.
Going, yeah.
Yeah. And so, or even if it's off the top, but it's every 4 bars, you're not doing a full 2-minute song like that. And so, and I had, when I had Miki Darko on here just a couple episodes ago, he's a rapper, and it was so nice to talk with him about this because he made me see the light. It was like it's like there's freestyling and there's rapping, and like when you I should be proud that I can't do that so well because it's almost like a spectrum. And if I'm all the way over here, I'm actually way more conceptual. I'm way more like thought out and calculated. Whereas if you're constantly freestyling, you're not that. You're kind of always throwing spaghetti at the wall and you're never cooking spaghetti.
Yeah, you're right. You're right in the fact that they're two completely different muscles because like I feel like you could kind of relate that to writing and comedy and crowd work.
Absolutely.
Crowd work is a form of freestyling.
Or just improv comedy.
Right,
I mean, there's
exactly.
There's an entire
for sure
freestyle version of comedy that is improv. Yeah. So it's the same, where it's like, if you only do improv, you're never sharpening a bit. You're never going in and doing this at open mics over and over and figuring out how I could say this perfectly and where the laughs are. That's not improv at all.
Yeah.
Improv.
And I couldn't do improv. I mean, like if
exactly.
I went up there, I don't think I could do that.
I feel like I'd be better at improv than comedy, just intuitively, but it's probably my freestyle muscle. It's the same thing. It's the fact that I've freestyled enough. I think if you rapped in high school, if you freestyled a lot in high school, I think if you just pulled that back out of you, I think you could probably do improv because it's not that far off.
Yeah, but again, like you said, it's a muscle, and I haven't worked that muscle out in so long,
right.
So it would be rough to start. But yeah, man, anything related to comedy, I love it, man. Anything, I love it all because I know that there's like a what I wouldn't say like a beef. It's kind of like a friendly, like, you know, beef like the Navy has with the Army, and you know, it's like that with improv and comedy, stand-up comedy. I feel like
I think it's a civil war. These guys hate each other.
Yeah,
because sometimes you'll bring up improv around comedians, and they like you could see them.
Yeah, you know, I mean,
their micro expressions, the hate.
Yeah, no, I don't feel that way towards them. You know, I like it. I think it's funny. It's quirky. It's a little more family friendly. I get where the comedians are coming from, but
I think it's a community thing.
It.
I don't think. Yeah. I think a lot of comedians don't like the community surrounding improv, and so they have a sour taste in their mouth when it's brought up because they don't like. I associate it with like theater kid energy. It's kind of the same. So if you're not a big fan of theater kids, it's easy for you to not be not a big fan of improv people because they're kind of both like theatrical and they're both kind of showy and everything's kind of a bit and they're always trying to like one up things and like it's built into their framework of their mind. And like I remember I was dating a girl once and the same girl I had that awful breakup with that broke my heart. The aforementioned breakup, the destroyed ruse.
Who's laughing now?
Yeah, bitch. Anyway, so I was sitting in this girl's room, and across the hall is her sister, and her sister is like singing musicals constantly. So you're just hearing, and you're like trying to chill.
You hit a couple notes there yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So it's because I've heard this enough times. But anyway, that is theater kid, musical kid, improv kid energy. They just bring that to the table and you either love it or hate it. I think that's a big part of it, is the hatred of the people, the actual discrimination. Like that's a lot of what's going. I just find entertainment everywhere. So
me too.
The whole thing
that's the way
amuses
I am.
me.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny you guys are even mad.
Yeah. I mean, I went to 2 improv shows with my girlfriend, who's also a theater kid. And I just found myself enjoying it. I mean, my range of what makes me laugh is so wide. And I find I'm easily entertained as well.
Right. It's kind of a good thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Like, I can laugh at an intellectual comic. I can laugh at a fart. I don't care. I laugh at a baby. I laugh at a sophisticated comics perspective.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to have a wide range of what you find funny, because then you'll live longer.
And I think like in my mind, it makes sense with the layout of the universe to think in such a way, like to have such a wide net and to be able to want to understand all those things, because there's an infinite number of things all the time. Like if you wanted to understand everything, there's everything right there. Like you could look up fucking boats all day. You could just learn about boats all day. Obviously, you're not going to do that. Maybe you are. Maybe you'll hear this and you'll go like look up boats.
Yeah, you feel
boats.
Quiz comedy has a whole new passion.
You know what would interest me? Just the question: how many different kinds of boats are there? Because I bet there's all kinds of boats.
You're starting to go down that rabbit hole now.
See?
Yeah, it's that easy.
And it's that easy. And so, like, to have such a wide net of interest, I think it makes you more diverse. I think it makes you more interested, and it makes it more interesting. It's that thing again where, like, by wanting to know, like, it makes you more because I think everything kind of connects in weird ways too, the more you want to learn about those things. So like you could learn things from a certain form of comedy that you might have turned away from, and then all of a sudden you can kind of like apply that to your form of comedy, even though it's not quite the same. Like it's like maybe it's this, like, this guy's really physical and does a bunch of stupid physical shit, but then like sometimes he does this really funny jack off thing and you're like, dude, I could just jerk off on stage. And then you do it and the crowd goes wild.
I mean, that's the thing about surrounding yourself in that environment. There's times where I find, like, if I'm not writing as much, I'll be not going and performing as much, and then I'll find my writing gets even worse. So it's like this, it's like a spiral downwards. But when I'm always in the environment and I'm performing and I'm like around a bunch of other comedians and I'm hearing all these different perspectives, my brain just starts to kind of get in that work mode, that what's the word, framework, like you just mentioned. It gets in that framework a lot more, and so I'll just be living my life normally. My brain's still subconsciously in that framework, and I'll just kind of see something like, oh, that would be funny.
Yeah,
like I saw 2 deaf guys arguing outside of the MV the other day. And it was hilarious. And
that sounds like a setup to a joke. Like, just that scenario.
But I know. I saw it. And like I Googled it because I'm like, this has to have been covered before. And I was, so.
They were signing at each other?
Yeah. And they were like, and like they were kind of making noises while they were doing like, and I looked over, and that's what made me look over. And I see him, I'm like, okay.
Maybe you thought they were playing rock, paper, scissors? Like,
there. What I was saying was, because there was 2 black guys, I was like, oh my God, wow, look at that. The Bloods and Crips are at it again. Why are they just silently throwing gang signs? I didn't say it though, because I did not figure out a way to make it funny enough, or like kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's I like that a lot. Somebody's got to call out this deaf community. Somebody's got to say something.
You gotta go after the guys in power, and it's the deaf people that control everything.
They're not gonna hear you.
Yeah,
they're not even gonna hear you.
Make sure you don't put the subtitles on this video. Turn them off. Yeah, they're gonna come for me. There goes my career.
Oh, dude. Like, that would be like a funny thing to get like canceled for, just making fun of a specific group. Like, you're just the guy that just talks mad shit about deaf people for no reason.
Yeah, just like a real hatred for deaf people.
What is wrong with this guy? Like, he's really funny, but also he talks a lot of shit about deaf people, because it's either like deaf or blind, or like, what's the third one?
Mute.
Yeah, one of those 3. I feel like all 3 of those, you can't be that mad at those guys. It sucks so bad. I think about this sometimes, how easy it would be to just poke my eyes out. Like, that easy. Like, if you're, like, your head's hanging out the side of a car, and then a fly, and then you don't have an eye.
Yeah.
One fly into your right eye, and it's gone if you're going, like, 80 miles an hour. Like, there's all kinds of things.
I think the worst one would be blind. I'd rather be deaf than blind.
That's a great question. Deaf or blind?
And I'd rather be mute than either one, because then I can still see and hear, but then mute does, they do sign language, right?
I would imagine.
How do they communicate?
Morse code, they'd have to get back, right? They can't even.
Maybe their health insurance policy doesn't cover that.
Right. How would they know if it did or didn't? Who's going to tell them? That's a pretty advanced interaction to have. Hey, by the way, your health coverage. Like, you'd have to tap their hands the right way to tell them. Because it'd be like, it'd have to be something like grabbing. Because it wasn't the whole thing with Helen Keller, like that she was taught all these things by some woman. I thought that was the whole idea, is even though she's mute, she still was taught how to communicate. I just can't remember what they did. Like, it was probably just a bunch of, put some spaghetti in front of your face and then squeeze your hand 3 times. 3 times means spaghetti. Like, who knows, dude? You'd have to develop a system. Maybe, like, teach them Morse code. I have no idea how you would teach. How would you even talk to a mute person?
Dude, it's like hurting my brain trying to think about it.
Because it would have to be very, like, animalistic almost. Like, you'd have to be instinctual, right? Like, you'd have to, like, think, like, if I had nothing, if I had no thing, I couldn't see, I can't hear.
Have you heard of those, like, Helen Keller deniers?
No.
Yeah, there's, like, people that say that she was just, it's not real.
This is a fiction novel.
Yeah. I saw someone wearing a shirt about it, and then I was like, that's a funny shirt. And he goes, nothing funny about it. He was, like, actually really trying to convince me that it was fraud. I'm like, dude, that's not like a big enough, it's not an important enough conspiracy to, like, there's other things going on.
Yeah, why would that's the real question, is if that were true, why would they do it? Like, to support the deaf, like, mute community, like, just to
apparently,
just to show,
like, she was fine, but yeah.
I've heard that before.
Like,
that I think I've heard that it was like an exaggerated story, but man, I don't know. That's probably another rabbit hole I could spend. After I look up boats, I'm going to get it to Helen Keller.
Yeah. I mean, what's wrong with it? I mean, it inspires some deaf mute, and they called her dumb, too.
Yeah, that is what they used to say, dumb mute, deaf mute, and dumb.
Deaf mute, blind, and dumb as shit. She was a dumb fuck. This is Helen Keller. She's an inspiration because she was a fucking idiot. Oh, yeah. She was
That's in the children's book.
Fucking moron. Mute, blind, deaf. Especially stupid, dumb.
And the kids thinking, like, if she can do it, I can do it. That's probably what it's meant to.
Yeah, it's good. Let the kids have it,
Yes.
They're like, no, she was acting. So what?
Even if it's not true, yeah, it's probably better.
I think it is true.
It's like a modern myth. It's like our fucking Greek gods is Helen Keller, like just stuff we make up. Like that would be fine. I'd fine if that would be it. Because you know what? Like, I think ultimately it's saying from anything you can learn. Like from any experience you can still grow and learn and achieve something and like have a life. No matter what. Even if you couldn't see and you can't hear, you'll still like find a way. Like the will to live and the will to survive is that strong. That's probably like the ultimate moral of that story is like she still had a life. You could just give up. That's something most people do, I feel like. That's why you need stories like that. A lot of people do just kind of want to give up,
Yeah.
When life sucks enough times, it's very easy to give up. I'm saying, if I lost my goddamn eyes, dude, I don't know how I'd be feeling.
I don't know what I would do.
If I was told I had cancer, what the fuck? Like, you hear a lot of people like have like a reinvigorated motivation for life, like which I can understand. I think that is true. Like through like a traumatic
near-death experiences will do that. Yeah. And that's kind of how they relate it to DMT a little bit. It's kind of like you have that feeling of a near-death experience because I guess that DMT is a natural chemical that's released in your brain when you're born and when you die.
They know. I
think I read something like that.
I think they know that with rats. I don't think they've ever found it in a human brain, but I think we know it exists in rats' brains. And I don't know like the research behind it existing when you die, because I think that's just a theory someone had.
Yeah.
But I know, but
yeah,
the whole
again,
idea is that it is in your brain.
Yeah.
It's an endogenous chemical.
Right.
It's in you.
Yeah.
And so when you take DMT, you're just ingesting something that's already there.
Yeah.
That is the idea. Yeah. Which is crazy. Just to
Yeah.
think about that whatever's busting you through that fucking fourth wall of reality is always there in your brain. You would imagine one might that's what's going on in your dreaming. Maybe is a similar type of thing, because it's all subconscious. It's all like your brain kind of looking at itself in this weird way. I mean, that's why I've always been attracted to anything like that. Is just the fact that that's there, that exists, and your brain can go to this different place. That capability is there. Like, even though it seems impossible, it takes you out of wherever you are now into a whole different perspective that you can't even imagine otherwise. You couldn't even possibly put that into perspective unless you enter that place.
What if that's what Helen Keller was experiencing the whole time? She was just tripping balls for like 28 years, or however old she was when she died.
That would be
How
awesome.
old was she when she died?
Another good question. That one I will look up, how old Helen Keller was when she died, because that's interesting.
Like, did she get married? Did someone marry her?
I don't know. That would be like you could make her a Disney princess at that point.
Yeah, it would have to be a real perfect.
A prince comes by and marries Helen Keller. Yo, that's the next Disney movie, dude.
Do you think she's like ever had sex?
She died in 1968.
What? That's like new. I thought she was like 1800s type.
Dude, she was born in 1880. She died in 1968. That's wild. That's actually way older than we would have guessed. Is that the math? 88? Because I was trying to do it in my brain.
Wait.
You're right. 88. That's it. Because it would be 1980 would be 100 years. So it's 88. That is wild. That's crazy. And this is like for a picture of her when she's older, which also...
She doesn't look like she's any of those things.
I know. I'm kind of confused because my entire image of her in my mind was like a 20-year-old, making like grunt sounds, sitting at a kitchen table. That's what comes in my mind.
Yeah, she looks fine right there. She just looks like a regular old person. She's smiling. She knows what the fuck she's doing.
She's smelling like, how does this picture happen?
How is she doing makeup?
I can kind of understand the conspiracies now.
Yeah,
I'm looking her up before both, so I'm getting into this one first.
Can you see if she was ever married?
Let's find out. Cause of death, natural causes. She was a teacher, author, orator.
She's none of those fucking things.
Linguist, essayist, peace activist, political activist.
Helen Keller,
man.
Then it's true. She's none of those things.
She went blind at 19 months of age. Helen Keller developed a febrile illness that left her both deaf and blind. Historical biographies attribute the illness to rubella, scarlet fever, encephalitis, or meningitis. Did she have a baby? She did not have any children. She was also never married, although she was once engaged. She and her secretary, a former journalist named Peter Fagan, were engaged in 1916 when Helen was 36 years old. Was Helen Keller totally deaf? Yes, Helen Keller became totally deaf and blind after contracting a high fever at 19 months old.
What's with the mute and dumb?
Yeah, what's up with that? My guess maybe... Oh, here, somebody asked on Quora. So this person answered, it's pretty rare to have no sensation of light or sound at all. That said, Helen Keller was a child before good hearing aids were available, and by the time the better ones in the 1960s came around, the first time anything really decent... Oh, yeah. She was probably too old to learn to use it. It really depends on what your definition of completely is. What the fuck does that mean? What the fuck does that mean?
That could be, that could be anything.
It's pretty clear she had no hearing in the speech range, and whatever sight she had, she was probably limited to light perception. She wasn't legally blind, a term that didn't exist in her youth. So she's getting by on a lot of fucking technicalities.
She's not really that impressive.
So with the caveat that practically no one is without some minimal perception of light and really loud noises, I suspect that Helen Keller qualified for what most people would consider completely deaf and blind.
I don't know.
So maybe it's like when deaf people are like trying to talk to you and you can tell like they're like, and like that's literally how they talk to you. Like maybe they can only hear those like, so like they're talking extra loud so they can hear it, and it's hard for them to perceive how loud they're talking. there probably is a whole lot of that in the deaf world that I just wouldn't even understand because I've never been deaf before. So it probably is like a lot of minimal hearing. Like there's a comedian, Jake Peta. He's been to your open mic.
Yeah, he's great.
And he's a deaf comic.
Yeah.
But he's not completely deaf. And so like he can communicate a lot about the deaf experience. And he does, but also he's not completely deaf. So it's like he can still communicate like this. Yeah. And so that's an interesting perspective to have because there's, just talking to him, I realize there's so many things. There's so many little things I would never guess with deaf people. Like what we just said, the fact there's partial hearing for so many of them. Fucking Helen Keller.
Yeah,
we're
Helen
looking
Keller,
at you.
fraud. I'm gonna dig her up from her grave and be like, stolen valor. The thing is, like, when I literally assumed like she had to get wheeled around town and like someone was helping her with the walking stick and the big sunglasses. And then when you told me she was engaged, I'm like, someone was fucking Helen Keller.
Only once.
She got ghosted. Helen Keller, you hasn't called me back yet.
Oh, dude, how does she like have a relationship? That's so
I don't know.
interesting
in my
to me.
ass. I don't know. Honey, what do you want for dinner? What?
Oh, dude, dating Helen Keller. That's that's all yours. You can have that.
I'll explore it. Yeah.
Explore that.
Dating Helen Keller.
I feel like a lot of us date Helen Keller without even doing it, you know? Like some of those problems we're talking about probably would exist.
If the guy goes to the bar and he goes, yeah, my girlfriend Helen Keller, she's fucking dumb. It's like, yeah, we know. We're learning about it in class. They teach my school children about how dumb your girlfriend is.
There probably is a human named Helen Keller now. You know, like a lot of the time, if you guess it, it probably is possible.
Oh, I'm sure
7
somewhere in like
billion
Omaha,
people.
like he's like, "What's your name, Helen Keller?" Oh my God, like that. Yeah, I get it all the time. Yeah. She just works at like a taco restaurant.
Yeah, Mrs. Helen Keller. There's other names like that. When I was younger, I remember there was someone in my family who knew somebody who named their kid Tarzan Superfly. One of the best names I've ever heard. Like, what a fucking name, dude.
I want to name my kid something like that. And I've ran by names by my girlfriend. And she goes, no, absolutely not. I was thinking she would be like, yeah, let's fucking do it. I'm one of those guys. I would name my kid something fucking gnarly.
Like what?
I don't know. Well, this was before because I used to like Hurricane as a middle name, but then one of the celebrities took that name, so I'm like, yeah, well, I can't do that but something like that, I don't know.
You mean like a fun middle name, like a normal first and last name, but a
first name, a fun middle name? I don't know, what's a cool first name? Like I would want like an X in it.
Okay.
Maybe like
Xavier.
Yeah.
My brother named his kids with a bunch of X names like Xander, Xorin, Xarid. They just kept going with the X's. It's kind of hard with an X though. Like Ezekiel's kind of close with a Z. Ezekiel's kind of a cool name.
I wouldn't want it to start with a vowel.
Okay, so it has to start with
maybe
the X.
an A. An A looks cool. Like my real name's Omid, but everyone I grew up with called me Omid.
Okay.
And it just made me feel fat.
So we can't have that. We can't repeat that trauma with your child. That's not fair.
I want like a Ajax, like the soap.
I was gonna say Axe or
Axel or something like that, or like Zaxel. That chicken place Zaxby's.
Yeah,
that'd be a cool name, Zaxby.
Zaxby's a cool name. Yeah. I like that name.
Yeah, Zaxby. So that would be my name. Zaxby. What's a good middle name?
Well, it's got to be fun. Rocket. Yeah. You like that?
Zaxby Rocket.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah, like Casey Rocket. That's a cool fucking line. Rocket.
It just came to me. It just in the moment. It just popped in my brain.
That's perfect. That's amazing. Rocket.
That's my improv skills coming out. My freestyle rap skills.
That's a great one.
Zaxby Rocket.
Yeah, something fast. What else? Something fast.
Zaxby Rocket Zoom.
Zaxby. Well, I don't want two Z's back to back.
Okay.
Well,
Zaxby Rocket.
Zoom Bang or no.
Can't have speed. That's too on the nose. Zaxby Rocket.
Because Zaxby has the Z and the X.
Yeah. Well, so you want something that sounds fast, though. Zaxby Rocket Flame. Zaxby Rocket Flame's not bad. Almost sounds like a stage name. Rocket Flame. Yeah, those go together pretty well. I kind of like Rocket Flame.
But then people can make flamer.
Yeah, dude, but it's
Kids,
like,
man.
fuck you, dude. I'm Rocket Flame, bitch.
Yeah.
Your name's Zaxby, you know?
Yeah.
I would just own it. You got to teach him to own it.
Zaxby's gonna wear like a silver chain around his neck. He's gonna have a girlfriend in the 4th grade.
And that's a mustache too.
Yeah.
A full on beard.
Yeah. Zaxby. He's gonna watch rated R movies when he's like fucking 8.
You think he'd be the only Zaxby? I think he'd be the only one.
Yeah.
I remember my dad bought me, was when I got an Xbox 360, and he bought me Grand Theft Auto 4. And when I was turning the game on, he was in the bedroom, and it was like, if you remember the beginning of Grand Theft Auto 4, it's like a guy getting
Was that
whipped.
in Miami?
No, that was New York. That was with Nico Bellic.
Okay. Oh yeah. So I started with Grand Theft Auto 3.
Yeah.
I played until they got to
Miami
LA.
was Vice City.
Yeah, Vice City, and San Andreas was LA. I liked San Andreas. I liked all of them. But those games I got addicted to, man.
Oh yeah.
I would just put on all the cheat codes and
best
cause
games.
mayhem.
Well, San Andreas had all the best cheat codes
Yeah.
too, like the flying cars and shit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of all, like you could make everyone like Elvis. That was one of the cheat codes. That was back when cheat codes were cool.
You know, dude, I had to stop playing video games. I get very addicted to video games very quickly.
Yeah, I think you and I are similar in that we have addictive personalities. Because I can't even like touch video games.
Dude,
me
neither. Me neither. Like my girlfriend, she passed me a Tetris, like this weird form of Tetris, and I was like, let me try that out. And then I ended up playing from about 9 p.m. till 5 in the morning. She'd wake up like, "Are you still playing?" I'm like, "Yeah." She was, "Make sure my phone is charged." And I'm like, "Okay." And so sometimes I ask her what the name of the game was. She won't tell me. Till this day, she will not tell me, and I thank her for that. Because she doesn't want me fucking throwing my life away at this game for the next month.
Yep.
And yeah.
I've been playing too much chess. Fucking chess gets me now. It's like, because it's like I can always play it. It's right there. It's got a fucking app where I can just play with anybody randomly at any time.
My brother's a chess whiz. Mm-hmm. I sucked at it.
I am so bad. I am really bad. So it's stupid that I even play it, dude, because I think like, oh, maybe one day I'll be good. But I fucking suck. So I told Jason Melton, I had him on my podcast, and we were talking about chess beforehand. And I asked, because you know what an ELO is? That's like how you're rating in chess. Mm-hmm. So if you play chess online, you get an ELO. And so I asked him, like, what's your chess score? And he told me, like, 1,500. I'm like, oh, like, okay. And he asked, like, what's mine? I told him, like, 250. Like, and 250 is almost as low as it could be. 100 is as low as it can be. And we couldn't believe that I was that bad at chess. It made me realize how bad I actually was.
Yeah, man.
I think I know what I'm doing sometimes, but I don't at all. And so, like, why am I spending my hours on this game? I'm not even getting better at it. Like, why am I doing that? I could be editing videos. I could be making music. I could be doing things that matter.
Yeah.
Like, and that's every game I ever play. Elden Ring, if you remember that, when that game came out, that stole my life for a while.
I don't know if you. I might be a little old. Age of Mythology.
No, what's that?
It's just like one of those where you build an empire and go to war with this other.
It's like
empire.
a classic PC game,
right? Exactly, and it was based on like Greek gods and stuff, and I was obsessed with that. You know, but back to chess, I actually have this memory one time. It was like I was super young. It was one of my younger developing mind memories. I was in this chess tournament, and I went up against this 6th grader girl, Toba. And she would just take the chess pieces and just, like the rook, and just go and take all my pawns. I was like, I don't think that's how this game works. She was, yes, it does. All right. And then she just kicked my ass. And it was like a tournament, and no one was supervising us. So she just fucking annihilated me through rules she made up on the spot. And I feel like I remember her face being like, yeah, that's how it works. I remember her name.
Like she was using the piece completely wrong.
She would like, take the rook and just go down the line of like all my pieces and go. All right.
Well, couldn't you take it with another one of your pieces though? If the rook's going across, couldn't you have like taken her rook with another piece?
Like she would go like horizontally along all my pawns and just go boom, 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 and just take all of them.
But I'm saying like at one of those pawns, like the queen could have taken like if it was every single one, like something's gonna be able to take it, right? Or was she just? How does that? How old were you in this memory?
Like 1st or 2nd grade. But I remember she would just like cheat. She would just take like all my pieces and be like, "This is how this works. No, those are the rules." Like, you know,
And that
she just annihilated
and no
me.
supervisors.
There was nobody watching over us. It was like an after-school program, and she was just annihilating me. I'm like, I don't think this is how it works.
Ruin chess for you forever.
Yeah, that's like the only chess memory I have.
You just got schooled. You
Yeah.
got schooled in chess by like a chess shark. You know, that's what they say. Magnus Carlsen, he was just on Joe Rogan's podcast saying, like, Magnus Carlsen's the best chess player of all time. So he's like literally the best ever. Guy's like a computer. And he usually doesn't do like long interviews like that. And he was talking about how there's like the age to start chess now is like 3 years old, 4 years old. Like, what? Like people at tournaments are that young playing chess, because otherwise you don't. It's kind of like comedy where you want 3 to 5 years. Like with chess, you want 5 to 10 years of experience.
I'm gonna buy a chessboard. I'm gonna play again.
It's a really interesting.
I'm not gonna let
game.
that girl take it away from me.
Well, don't be like, you know what? I might be a bad influence because I told you all this on the premise that I'm addictive and I need to stop.
But I think chess is like a healthier game to be.
It's productive because I think that the principles of it apply to other things, like most things. But like you could easily take the principles of chess and apply that to a lot of life. Like you need to kind of see things coming and pre-calculate things and understand like it's not just the step you're taking now. It's how the step you're taking now affects the next 4 to 5 steps that you take. Like all of that stuff.
Exactly.
You could zoom out and chess is like just the most basic mechanics of that. And that's why it makes me so upset. I suck so bad at it because I feel like I know how to do those things. I play chess. I'm like, dude, how the fuck am I so bad? Like,
yeah, I mean, with chess, man, I always played with my older brother, and he would just smoke me all the time. It ruined the game for me. I feel like
that's how it happens. And like what's fun about it being so publicly available now, because it's chess.com, and it's become popular because I think chess.com kind of knows what they're doing. They've paired up with a bunch of these influencers who've kind of like, there's this boom of chess where there's these a couple people that come to mind where they just post videos of them playing. It's Anna Crambling is one of them. There's this guy named Gotham Chess. There's a bunch of these people. There's 2 girls named like the Botez twins, and they're pretty popular. One of the second best chess players, I think it's Hikaru Nakamura. There's all these people who are popular in the chess community, and so they've managed to kind of like through streaming and through playing chess and being associated with chess.com too, like they've made chess popular. And there's just all these videos of them like playing chess that have millions of views. And so I think that like because of that, you can go play chess with anybody. Like I said, you could just go open the chess.com app and play with somebody who sucks just as bad as me. Immediately.
It almost sounds like you're doing an ad for them. Like, open up chess.com. You can play with someone just as bad as me. Are you really good at it? Yeah.
They can sponsor me. Sponsor you,
yeah.
That'd be cool, actually.
Do you think you can apply anything from Grand Theft Auto into real life?
Yes.
Yeah, just go
driving.
Yeah, really?
Kids learn how to drive and navigate from Grand Theft Auto.
And just rob people and kill hookers.
Yeah, well, that part, hopefully not. But, you know, we gotta take the pros and cons of everything in life. But like literally my nephew, it's like what I said earlier about how kids like learn how to use a phone before they learn how to talk. He could navigate to anywhere on Grand Theft Auto 5. Anywhere. Like you tell him, like from anywhere in the game, he could get to Trevor's apartment without using the GPS, and he was like 6 years old.
Jesus, that's interesting. Yeah.
So you can definitely learn Grand Theft Auto. He learned how to navigate. Like
that's wild. Yeah, that's insane,
isn't it?
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy. Like he was like, okay, so in relativity to this and this and this, I got to go this way. Like the highway's around the side of the map, so I just need to find my exit.
That's wild.
That's how he's thinking.
That would trip me out. Yeah.
And that's actually like a fun challenge, you know, to play that game without a GPS because you do have to navigate. I think if you zoom out with most things, if it's well enough designed, you can always kind of learn a basic thing from it. Like comedy, even you can learn so much from comedy. You can learn how to face life, like how to fail and how to fail upwards. Like that is a principle you could apply to all of life. Is that the failure is actually feeding into growth, even though it doesn't feel like it in the moment.
Yeah, I think it definitely, doing enough comedy and failing enough times, it does change you. I really do think it does for the most people. I mean everyone's different, but I think it's pretty common for a lot of people to kind of, you know, when you bomb all the time and then you do well in that rush and the failures and the ups and the downs, I think it takes like a toll on you in some way.
Yeah.
And it changes you. I think.
I would hope it would harden you, right? Like it would kind of again like shape you. Like you'd find yourself through it. Or it makes or breaks you, kind of in a way, because that or it just tears you apart. It's one or the other. But that's life. That's life, is constantly you think you have control, and then life continues to present other circumstances to you.
This is Marcos. He's called me a few times. I think this might be, you're on the podcast, Marcos.
Oh, snap.
Oh, shit, my bad. Oh, my bad.
What's up?
I just wanted to ask Wyatt if I could do it at 3 instead of 2.
Oh, yes, that's perfect.
I feel like his assistant.
Perfect. Good luck, guys. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I'm glad you're having fun.
This is a cameo. You've just This is your first cameo appearance on the podcast ever.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Women's Month, everyone.
Shout out women.
I love women.
Women are tight.
Women are tight as hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, you guys have fun.
Okay, bye. Yeah,
not only that, he's the first ever cameo. No one has ever answered the phone on the show. I'm actually glad. That was shout out Marcos Cirino again. That guy is a true gentleman. Shout out women. Shout out women and Marcos.
Marcos, what's the difference?
Yeah, right. Both are tight.
Yeah, both are tight. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, he's gonna be here at 3.
Yeah, what time even is it? It's probably 1 p.m.
1:08.
Wow, yeah. I mean, like, we got a little bit more. Is there any... Oh, you know what I did want to ask you before we do end this thing? I did want to ask you about, like, the whole process of even starting that mic and how it's kind of... You were telling me before we started how it's becoming a thing where a lot of people are showing up.
So, like, what's
the whole story of that? How does all that happen?
Well, I was sitting there at the bar with 2 of my friends, and then my friend knew the owner, and I told the owner, I was talking to the owner, you got a good stage here. I'd like to have an open mic. And he went, all right, yeah, just write your name down. I didn't think anything of it.
Did they already do stuff like that? Like little
They have
events?
karaoke and stuff like that, but nothing comedy-wise. And then, I got a call a few days later from, I guess his son. And he was like, yeah, just hop on over here and we'll talk about it. We talked about it. It didn't seem like anything was going to materialize. And then a couple of weeks passed by, and yeah, he wanted to do it. So we got it going. In the first week, I was talking a lot of shit too. I was like, this is going to get packed out. I'm going to bring everyone here every week. And, the first week, nobody showed up, not a single person except Owen. And then I felt bad.
The co-host.
Yeah. And I felt bad that he dragged his ass all the way out there. So I bought him a couple beers. I gave him $20. And I was like, do you want to co-host this thing with me? I was humiliated, man. I was like, do you want to try to build
so he wasn't the co-host then. He was just the only person that showed up.
Yeah. We didn't really know each other. We'd met like very briefly. But yeah, he walked in like, and you saw, and he did this thing where he looked side to side, like, am I in the right place? And I was like, hey, and he was like, oh, and so yeah, we, and then after that we got like 4 people, and then 5, and then like last week we had 30 people, so that was cool.
Over the course of how long?
We started in July,
and so that was about today, almost a year. About 8 months ago now?
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 months ago.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and so, yeah, he's been great. He's been there since the very beginning, and yeah, so it's fun, man. People started showing up. We kind of I made some friends through there, and I'm really grateful for what it's kind of opened up to me. And it kind of keeps me doing comedy, too, because there was a lot of times where I'm like, I want to have good material for my open mic, so I'm going to continue working stuff out. And then that snowballed, and now I'm just like, full blown addicted to it.
And that's interesting. Like just the responsibility of even having the mic kind of keeps you drawn to being in that place and like doing your best there. And then you take that other places. Yeah,
it's because, I want to make sure, because, if I'm starting the show, I always keep it short too, because I always do new material and I do it quick. And if it's not working, I get the fuck off stage real quick, because I do not want to kill the momentum for the rest of the comedians.
And I've seen hosts of open mics, like they'll do like a good 10 minutes.
And that's a lot.
To me, I feel like, if all the open mic people are just doing 5, like shouldn't you do 5 to set the stage?
I rarely ever go past 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But I mean, there'll be times where I'll look back and I'll be like, oh shit, I just did 5. But even then, but that's only if I can see the crowd is enjoying themselves.
Uh-huh.
But I try not to spend too much time on there. Yeah, I mean, it's a fun ass mic. We're supportive of each other. It's an easy room to get laughs for the most part. It's a very easy place to just kind of work on your material, and everyone's friendly there.
I need to show up with my speaker and rap at one of these.
You're more than welcome to.
I know I am. What I've learned is, because what I used to say was, I would ask comedians, like, what do you think, like, they would allow me to do it? And, like, I feel like most places they actually wouldn't even care. Like, most places
it's fun to kind of break up the pattern, too. Like, it's fun, like, you know, that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. When you see a comedian that's super over the top quirky, and is, you know, people are going up to tell jokes, and then you see this guy that's just completely different from everything.
Yeah,
it's nice. It's kind of like a breather.
Yeah, and I've noticed that, like, especially if I do it right, like if I execute and I perform, you can almost feel like a difference in the room almost. Like it kind of lights the room up a little bit.
It brings
and everybody,
energy right back.
Like the comedians even like benefit from it because now they have like a little bit more fire
100%.
in the room, you know?
So yeah,
if you do it right, you could also kill the audience. And
you're
totally
more than
drain
welcome
them.
to do it at Mickey's Park whenever you want.
All right,
Yeah,
yeah.
man.
Well, I know I have a captive audience. I didn't know you guys were like filling out the like 30 people, 35.
Well,
That's awesome.
Well, it was last week we didn't. I don't know if everyone was a comedian even, but there was nowhere to sit. You know what I mean? It was from the front because this is a long, narrow room, and it was filled from the front to the back. And there's speakers going throughout the bar and outside, so when you're walking by, you can hear people's performances. So there's this restaurant right next to Mickey's Park, and the staff will like stand outside and listen to the comedy and just laugh amongst themselves. You know, so it's funny that you can hear the comedy from outside. People are walking by like, my dick and balls. I go, what the fuck did I just hear?
Is it like a speaker on the
Outside, yeah.
I think
on the street.
I saw Jake Edgar's
He
story.
did. He posted it.
That,
Yeah.
I didn't know that was there though.
Yeah,
That's
he was
so
posting
funny
Femi.
because it's
Yeah.
Femi talking. If anybody's heard Femi before, just imagine walking by and hearing Femi on a speaker.
Yeah.
He with no context.
He just did Mickey's last week and he fucking killed. I fucking love Femi, man. He's so fucking nice. He's hilarious. He's so fucking... And his humor is so dark.
Yeah.
But he's the sweetest person you'll ever meet. He's just... I just love him, man.
I like Asian bitches. Like I can't even do a Femi impression.
He goes... He'll just say... I don't want to quote any of his jokes, but he's like... He's crazy.
That's who Femi is. It's hard to even do his material. He
like
sells it so well.
woman. Yeah.
What is it?
He'll like say something like about the woman.
A
Yes?
woman.
No. Okay. he's just such a pleasure to be around. Love him.
Yeah. And
Has he been on here?
No, but he will be.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that's gonna be a good one.
There's so many people. Femi would be a great one, wouldn't he? Yeah, I've only had a couple. I've seen him at Power Hour a couple times. I think that's where I've caught him. Yeah, I don't know if he's witnessed my greatness or not.
Yeah,
you know?
He's got a mic on Mondays.
Yeah, I've multiple people because this is what I was just saying a second ago. I thought that was one of those mics I couldn't really go to because it's a comedy mic. But I've had people tell me like, no, they won't care if you show up there.
Femi's cool as shit.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
But it's at the eatery, like bake. What the fuck?
Maria's
is it?
Packaged Goods.
Yeah, I was trying to remember it. Yeah, packaged goods, and it's like they got the yellow poster. They do it Mondays. You say is it 8 p.m.?
Yeah, I think sign-ups at like 7:30 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
it could be earlier actually. Yeah, I think its shows actually start at 7. Yeah, you got to double check, but it's
over near downtown, like around where your mic is.
It's like
right?
on 32nd, so it's a little bit more south. But
Okay.
it's an easy drive. You know, it's a cool mic, and I like it there. I like the energy in that room.
Femi energy.
Yeah,
Provided
he
by
cultivates
Femi.
a fun room, man. Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of what those mics end up being. That's kind of what's cool about it is like there's kind of a community that forms around the mic, like what happened with you guys. It's like all those people that show up weekly now. It kind of snowballs into that through like it all started with Owen. He was the first person.
Yeah.
It's funny. He was like the one.
Dude, and he walked in. I will never forget. He walked through the curtains. He went, I was like, yes, please. I'm
Just imagine if he turned around. You have to chase him out.
He's happy as hell now. He loves it. And again, like we're such opposites. He's like a quirky, like dorky, like innocent looking guy with the glasses and proper and weird shoes. And I'm like this, like like caveman. So, yeah.
It's like a classic comedy duo. You always got the straight man and the doofus, right?
Yeah.
You get to be the doofus.
And like we swap our doofusness amongst each other. Yeah, but he's great. We're like an unlikely duo that I just appreciate.
Yeah. And like I think like comedy I think like again it's like feeding off of the energy of each other. Like I'm sure that energy that he brings kind of since you're both hosting, you kind of go off of whatever he's doing. Like it's always kind of you're both kind of pushing off of each other a little bit just by being surrounded by each other all the time.
There's comics that'll go up and be like, I love the difference between Owen and Milo. Just like, it's funny. It is weird. And I love that. I wouldn't
You guys are like Drake and Josh.
Sort of, yeah. But yeah, I'm definitely appreciative of him and everyone that's been going there regularly. Like Matt Sullivan, Natalie Whalen, Marcos, Dylan, and all the other. There's a bunch of other people that show up, and I'm just super grateful for them and everybody. It's nice to have a community in this because it's uncharted waters that you're navigating together, and it's like you don't really feel like you're on this island by yourself. It would be a lot more difficult to do if I was just constantly out there around strangers, like looking at me, who's sizing me up all the time. And even though it's probably all in my head, but yeah, it's definitely nice to have those people.
Yeah, and to like and to know again, like to know that they're doing what you're doing, like that they're kind of in the exact same the position as you. That's why they're all there. Like we're all doing the exact same thing. We're all just trying our best to make ourselves better and tell these jokes. And like the more and more people that show up, the more and more validating that is, because the more and more you kind of like feel like, okay, like, so this is like, I said just recently on like a post about the podcast that, when you feel validation, it's hard to know whether to feel surprised or solidified. And I think that's because it's kind of confusing. It's like, is this like unexpected? Like, is this like weird? Or is this exactly what I wanted to happen? And this is how it's supposed to go down, Because it's weird how that goes. How you...
That's an interesting way of looking at it. That's true.
Wow. And it's all just like an idea you had at one point.
Yeah.
It was all just you were never expecting to have the room full. That was never even the goal,
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, it does feel really good. There's times where it'll just be like 15 comedians, but it's like everyone's like kind of that's the sweet spot because everyone is enough to people to where they're paying attention. People aren't just kind of talking in their cliques and stuff, and everyone's laughing. There's those nights where everybody kills it. Everybody goes up and does well. Everybody leaves happy. And so we've had that a bunch of times, and it feels really good.
Yeah.
Because everyone's happy with their set. And everyone's happy with their night and the mic and, everything. So those are the ideal nights when everyone does well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those happen a decent amount, you'd say?
Well, it's happened. It's happened probably, I'd say like maybe like 5 times where like everyone just went up and crushed and there was audience there and everyone just did super well. But yeah, I mean, we have a lot of newer comics coming in sometimes and
which is good, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like what we were saying before about like just it reminds you you're at an open mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they're still navigating how, and then I mean, there's times where we have bombs, and it sucks. Sometimes you'll see the list and it'll be like 5 really good comedians and then 5 newer comedians, and not newer, but like it'll be like 5 comedians that kill it and then 5 comedians that bomb, and then it'll be like the rest of them, and it's like, damn, the energy just got crushed in this room. So
yeah.
I'll go up to them like, bring the energy back. Put a little pressure on them. I'm like, this isn't like an ideal follow.
And that's why I always wondered if it's like, is my rapping going to be okay? Because I've seen like people do, even like they'll do like a political speech out of nowhere. They'll do like poetry. Like they will kill the room in some way, shape, or form. And so I feel like if they know I'm going to rap, it's almost like I'm set up to fail. Like if I haven't already validated myself in this room full of comics, they might see that and be like, oh my God, this fucker is like taking stage time away from us. So like, I worry that it'll get the wrong perception. That's what I was thinking. But because I know people will fuck that up. Like they make it look bad because they will be bad. They will go up there, and maybe it's just bad comedy. But I've seen all sorts of things at Mike's by now. Like people just. I told you about that guy earlier that went up and said "fuck Jesus." Like you see anything. You see anything. It could literally be because anybody. There's no requirement. You just have to be able to write your name on a piece of paper. That's all you have to do, and then you're there.
I went to this open mic and it has a show beforehand, and this guy, he was booked. It was 15 minutes or 10 minutes or something like that, and he just rapped the entire set, and maybe it was 15 because I think he did like 3 songs, and it was just like comedy rap, and it was really entertaining, and it was just like different, and yeah, for me I was like maybe 10 minutes would probably been good, but because it was a comedy show, and it was like. You're looking around and he's rapping and you're looking at the audience members and you're like, you can tell a lot of these people don't have any interest in rap at all whatsoever. But, and like, he was like really rapping. So it's like, they couldn't really, they don't understand that realm of music.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And you'd have to, like shows like that, you have to do just right. You know, you really do. If you're going to, it's just blending music and rap is kind of a tough, Unless you just have the right, it's really the comics you bring to the show. I think at that point, it's almost just like you have to kind of be smart about it and you also have to book it right. Like I think, like you said, like maybe 10 minutes instead of 13. Like I think you don't want the music on. What was it? Think and then feel because. Yeah, you'd want the comedy first and the music last is what I was thinking. Because you'd want people to think and then you'd want them to feel rather than feel and then think. That was kind of my idea.
Well, these people didn't know about what was coming. You know what I mean? So, like, they signed up to watch stand-up comedy and then, like, they listened to 15 minutes of rapping. And, like, you know, you see, like, these old guys from middle America. Like,
so they didn't even know it was going to happen.
No, they're like, what? And it's like, who's this white? Why is this white kid rapping to me about weird things, about, like, diapers and shit? So... But like if they know to expect you, then you do a whole fucking hour. Like, you know, I'm sure Riff Raff and Weird Al and I like a lot of comedy. Even Action Bronson's kind of like a comedy rapper.
Yeah.
Who else? Zach Fox is pretty funny. Lil Dicky.
Yeah.
Lil Dicky, what happened to him? He kind of fell off, huh?
He does that show. I haven't really watched it.
That show was kind of old news. That came out a while ago.
I don't know. I thought they were gonna make another season. I thought it was 2 seasons and they're gonna do a 3rd one. But I don't know. I've never been a big Lil Dicky guy. I just know from like the outside looking in. I think he's a great rapper though. I think he's a very good lyricist.
You can't take that away from him. Yeah, lyricist. But the thing is, it has gotten to a point where being a lyricist just isn't. It's just not. It's gotten clowned so much, and now it's about style, flow, like what they're wearing. Yep. Are they really gangbangers? You know, like
yeah.
So yeah, it's just become so. It's so much about it that's not the music itself. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I mean, for better or worse, like I think to me as an artist looking strictly at the art, I think that's where like the magic is. It shouldn't be about all this. I think it was when I was talking to Jason Melton too. He said he was kind of saying that with rap. I think he was applying it to rap, but he was saying like how everybody's obsessed with the thing around the thing.
Yeah.
So like you're not obsessed with the music. You're obsessed with the guy who makes the music.
Exactly.
And that shouldn't even be what you're thinking about.
Yeah.
Which it's just so weird. Like it's so weird we think in such a way.
Yeah, and like I forgot who I heard talking about this, but there used to be a mystique and a mystery around artists because they didn't have their whole life wasn't documented on the internet all the time.
Yeah.
You know, with the paparazzi and their Instagram and their podcasts. And so now you hear every little thing they have to say, every little thought they had when, as before, it would be an exclusive interview on VH1 or MTV, and it was a big deal. You know, it was like one of the few times you get to really hear them out. And they're putting on an act, you know, they prepare, their PR team is behind it and all this stuff, and they tell them how to go about, I don't know.
Yeah, but
there's a lot of preparation involved.
But it's still different. It's still so different. Like even now, like and it's getting more and more in that direction. Like with like actors are appearing on podcasts now. Actors are starting politicians are starting podcasts.
Yeah, that's wild.
That is wild.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a whole new realm of people being, or at least trying to be more transparent than ever. And again, for better or worse. Because in a way, I think it kind of forces you to evaluate yourself when you're constantly putting yourself out there like that. You kind of have to think about what you're doing in a way that other people might not.
But in a conversational setting, like you kind of, it's a broadcasted conversation.
Yeah.
So it's like, then people will kind of hold, you know, like these celebrities to these crazy standards. It's like, well, they're having a conversation, a 3 or 4 hour conversation. And if they're doing that regularly, they're probably going to say something they didn't. It's like a half thought.
I think though, like, people are always going to hold celebrities to such standards.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you're signing up for when you chase this thing.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, and you have to, like, I think if you're good at anything, you're going to have a divisive reaction no matter what you do. People are going to get mad at you no matter what you do. It actually doesn't matter whether or not it's, like, objectively good. It just matters if it resonates with people, because people are going to get mad no matter what. Like,
and that's the problem with overnight sensations.
Yeah.
Like, they don't get that kind of perspective. They don't have enough time to develop and understand and mature.
And everybody hates you right away.
And they have a horrible reaction to it. They have a poor reaction to their kind of fall off, or you know, when they go downhill. It's because, I watched like a documentary on this recently. It's like what the dark side of 15 Minutes of Fame. And it was about like the Hawk Tuah girl, the backpack kid, and all these people that went viral, and how they had a huge come up and then a big fall off. It's like, that can take a mental toll. But I mean, a lot of people take on these huge levels of success before they're ready. And I kind of know where I'm at as far as, like, you know, I won't take on anything that I'm really not ready for.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be remembered that I fucked that opportunity up because I wasn't ready. So, yeah,
you fuck your legacy up.
Yeah, it'll be way harder to get that opportunity again. I mean, I know that some people say, well, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, but if you set yourself up in a good position, you might get that opportunity again, and then you can run with it. Because
and that hate thing, like having that hate cemented in, because I mean, like, you know, it's Kill Tony, for example, that show. Say you have like a bad performance on Kill Tony, people will remember you as that. They'll hate on you.
She sucks. It's like, well, 1 minute. It's like that's and then an interview, and it's not only that, it's what Tony thinks is funny. So it's like, that's one person. It's like, and he doesn't share the same sense of humor as everyone else. You know, there's times where he'll have the panelists up there, and like the panelists would be laughing and he won't be. You know, everyone has a different sense of humor.
Well, even the audiences with that show, like when they go to LA, they have notoriously harsh audiences. I'm pretty sure it's LA, where it's either LA or New York, where whenever they go there, it's like they'll play at this big arena, and they're just like, you can tell that what that show is cultivated, at least in those environments, is like a group of people that don't necessarily watch comedy, but they want to see people fail.
Right.
And so like they'll boo these people prematurely and stuff like that, where it's like they just want to see you suck.
Yeah.
And that's not even necessarily the same thing as like an open mic. Like it's such an abstract environment to be doing comedy in.
An open mic at a fucking arena at Madison Square Garden.
Like, what the fuck is that?
It's like, where's your next mic at? Oh, Madison Square Garden, sold out.
And I was listening to somebody talking about like what it was like when they were there and they went on stage, and they said how like they didn't know all night whether they were gonna go, and then like they just come out and tell you, okay, it's you. And they didn't specify how long it was before they went on, because that's what I would have wanted to know. Like from the moment you knew you were going to go on to when you went on, like was that
nerve-wracking.
5 minutes? Was that 20 minutes? Like how long was that? Because that's what I wonder. Like they're not coming up to you and telling you, and then you walk on stage. It's not like 20 seconds. So they must like bring you back, and you're standing backstage. You're like, fuck. And that was kind of how the person laid it out. Is like they thought all night they weren't going to get called, and then at the very end they tell them, and then all of a sudden, you know. But yeah, dude, just like that's such a weird place to be, because there's this famous comedian right there, and there's this other famous comedian, like people who are basically known worldwide at this point as like you could say they're very, very, very popular. So I have to do comedy in front of these people, and also I have to deal with this entire audience. Also, I only have 60 seconds, and half of it's not even about the comedy. It's about how I respond to their questions afterwards. So it's kind of an improv exercise too. Like it's like it is a very nerve-wracking thing. Yeah. Especially like it's crazy to me that people would ever want to do Kill Tony for their first set. To me, that is crazy.
Well, to them, it's a fun way to get on TV, or you know, like get broadcasted. In front
I've thought
of
about rapping. I've thought about like, what if I went on Kill Tony and I just did a rap about Tony Hinchcliffe?
He might
being
roast
gay?
the hell out of you, but it would be legendary.
Yeah.
It would be legendary.
That could be my moment. I just have to be confident
People
enough.
will talk about it for sure, and it will definitely get you some views, probably some trolls. But if you can get through that,
I'm already the rap comedy guy. I'm already in this world. I think it would make perfect sense.
Do you have a Chicago ID? They seem to pull people from Chicago all the time.
Oh, I need to get my Chicago ID. My birthday's coming up, so I actually have to update my ID, for real. Yeah.
Yeah, Kill Tony's an interesting thing though. But the thing is, the people that laugh at the jokes on that show, a lot of those jokes that get laughs at Kill Tony wouldn't fly here.
I've noticed that it's just a location thing in general,
right?
Like, because comedy's gonna be different all over the place. That's what I would imagine, right? Because I know exactly what you're saying, though. It's like a raunchier type of. It's almost like we're gonna say what other people won't say,
right?
To a fault, they'll do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so like some of it is just kind of like they just go up and they say like retard and then whatever and then make like a racial joke, and a lot of it.
But they're saying it just to say those naughty words.
Just to win over that crowd. It's it can be lowbrow sometimes. It's changed a lot.
That show used to be a lot more lowbrow in general, I feel like. Like, there used to be a lot more just picking on people for, like, whatever. Like, they just went really hard on the comics a lot of the time. And I don't think it's quite that bad now. To the point where people criticize Tony for being too nice to the comics. Like, people will say, like, he's always, like, hyping this person up so much.
Really?
Like, I think people get mad when he hypes Casey Rocket up a lot. You'll see that in the comments. He also hypes up... It's really the regulars. Because, but it's... Yeah, haters. It's the same exact thing. It's like these are just haters of these particular comics for whatever reason. They see Hans Kim. They see Hans Kim's face and they just get angry. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
And so every time Tony Hinchcliffe says Hans Kim's a great comic, they just get pissed off. Who's the other? Cam Patterson. He also has gotten pretty big on Kill Tony. Ari Maddie came from Kill Tony. There's a bunch of people now. That's the other thing that's nerve-wracking about is that it's seen as an opportunity, like a launching platform for so many people.
For sure. I mean, that's a platform that, like, it is like the Tonight Show, but the format is just, it's not conducive to, like, really representing a comedian's abilities, I feel like.
That's why I just feel like you're set up to fail.
I've seen some really good comics, some comics that are hilarious. They go on there and they fail. And it's like, boom, then everyone will make that judgment and write them off like around the country that they're not funny. It's like, no, this person is hilarious. It's like they couldn't figure out that format, but that's not a format that comedians typically do. 1 minute and then an interview that's, in front of millions of people.
That's almost like a roast. The interview is almost a roast.
Yeah. Especially
if they didn't like your set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There was like when I first started out, I always thought about Kill Tony, but I would love to go on there. But now, the more I do it, the more I'm like, I don't really know if I would do that.
It just depends.
And if I did, it would require a lot of preparation. You have to prepare for the questions that he asks, because to him, he wants to make sure the interview is more entertaining than.
And that's why I was saying it's kind of an improv exercise.
Right.
Because a lot of comics are thinking about their minute. They're not even really thinking about having to talk for the next 5 or 6 minutes about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see a lot of people fall apart in that section of it. They're like, they just answer the questions as basically as possible. Which is actually like they're trying to get you to do the thing. They're trying to get you to play along. And okay, what's your job? Oh, well, I actually deliver pizzas. Oh, you deliver pizzas. What do you put your dick in the middle of them? Oh, yeah. All that, like, you just have to fucking. Yeah. They're going to take whatever you say and make fun of it. So if you give them nothing, you're giving them nothing.
Yeah.
You see people do that.
Yeah.
It's like you're supposed to be playing along with the bit here, like, because you'll see him say, "Have you seen this show before? Like, do you know what we're doing?"
Yeah.
You'll ask them, do you know what this is supposed to be?
Yeah, I love Kill Tony, man. Like when I first started, I was like so inspired by that show. Like I would just write.
It's crazy
one-liners.
what it's become.
Yeah, for sure. I would like write one-liners to try to tailor a set to like 1 minute, but then like I didn't know how to write a bit, so I've gotten away from that. I couldn't even write a one-liner if I wanted to, probably.
One-liners, I feel like I could probably write one-liners if I wanted to. I remember Bo Burnham had a song full of one-liners, or at least like it was one of his things on like one of his albums when he was doing comedy albums, and it was just one-liners all the way through, and it was so impressive to me because like it's almost like poetry at that point. Like there's a couple like infamous comedians. I know Mitch Hedberg had a bunch of one-liners. And Stephen Wright. Those are the two that come to my mind, where it's like one-liners completely, which is crazy.
Rodney Dangerfield too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And that's just the amount of creativity it would take, because you're taking the most basic, like you can't say much in one or two sentences. You just can't. So it's the ability to stretch that over and over and over again that blows my mind. Like to just do it over and over, because it almost seems impossible.
And it's tough to find a variation of a one-liner. It's hard to find a variation of one-liner that hasn't been done.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because the world is clever, and a lot of the one-liners, they turn into memes, or they've been memes. Yeah. And there are some comics that'll do that. They'll like do jokes based on memes, and I'm like, oh, that's tricky.
I've seen that. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if you should do that.
Because I feel like it's too
close to stealing a joke.
Yeah. Yes. Like to the point where they kind of even are sometimes. Like they saw something that was funny on a video.
That's not your idea. You didn't come up with that.
Yeah. I mean, that's an interesting debate though in general, is what counts as stealing a joke. It really is kind of hard to define sometimes, because like say we say something in a conversation and we're just talking and it's your idea, you said it, and you didn't. I've noticed comedians will do this thing where they'll like formally say to each other like, oh, you can use that. Like they'll tell each other, because that's the respectful thing to do. Because what if I said it but then I see you start to say it on stage, now I'm like, what the fuck, like that's my thing, I said that and he thought that was funny, and now he's saying, but like it's okay, is that a stolen joke? Probably. Is it though? Because it's not like you said it out on stage. It was just an idea you had. And I actually have had this happen to me, where I've said something to friends and I've seen them start to use it, and I'm like, wait a minute, did I say that? What's that mean?
I'm definitely going to use the Helen Keller thing. But
I told you. I did give you the permission.
So thank you for that. I had this happen to me on Wednesday. I turned it into a bit, and it worked like a charm. And then I was just like, I was talking to my buddy Dylan. I was like, what do you think? Do you think that 9/11? I was like, do you ever wonder if it was actually like an accident? Like it was just texting, I'll be landing in about, oh shit, boom. And then my friend went like, yeah. And then the second pilot went, oh shit, boom. And then we riffed on that. And he goes, you can use that. And I'm like, I totally am. I was going to ask anyway. But like if you said, if they show any signs of like, yeah, then I don't do it. Because then it's like, okay, well, if you're not, But sometimes I get the best like jokes I get out of just riffing with someone else.
That's probably most of all of it. Yeah,
but I'll ask too. I always make sure I ask if they don't tell me. And then sometimes they'll ask me, "Can I use that?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah."
Yeah. Which in my rap brain, I think like that's the same. It's the same thing. Like you're supposed to be writing your own stuff. You're supposed to be coming up with your own ideas. Like you're not supposed to be it's almost frowned upon in hip hop to have ghostwriters and to have. I mean, it is frowned upon.
Yeah, I frowned upon that
in OG hip hop mentality. As I laid it out previously, where it's all about the Me Too, which almost makes me feel like, dude, if I just rapped fucking 20 years ago, people would understand what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But they don't really get it because of the world I'm in now.
They don't want to think. They want to just hear a fire-ass beat and just like a little voice that's used as an instrument.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear real words.
And it's more about the vibe than it is about whatever you're actually saying.
Like Kendrick Lamar, he's super marketed. They put a lot of money behind him. And still, people don't really know his music.
Yeah.
They know who he is because they force-feed him down in between all the football commercials and the Super Bowl. I mean, don't get me wrong. I went to my first Kendrick concert when I was like 18. This is 14 years ago.
But if you talk to like the casual person, they would just think of him as the greatest hits.
Like this if this album, I'm sure if it hasn't already, got a bunch of fucking awards, but no one can like really name too many songs on there. I mean, yeah, like I listened to the entire album and I was like, there's 2 or 3 that are okay.
Yeah.
But it's not something where I'm like, oh my God. It's just people. It's so insisted upon, and like people just feel like they have to. Like, no, it's the genius album.
Yeah.
Like, I came up on Kendrick. I know when it's good. I
don't even think Kendrick wanted it to be a genius album. I think that was the idea, is that it wasn't. It was supposed to be an album.
That's the genius behind it.
Yeah. And you got like Kendrick stands all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kendrick's my favorite rapper of all time. He is. But I think in that album, it reminds me of like, it's kind of the energy you had with like Backseat Freestyle, with some of that, where it's like it's supposed to just kind of sound like freestyling and hanging out with your friends and just rapping to rap, not like taking it back to basics, which is kind of a smart move if you're doing that after you just did this whole commercial thing with Drake, like mostly do that. But you're totally right in the sense that people don't really understand all that. They just look at Kendrick as base level. They just look from the outside in and just usually see whatever they've been presented. Like my mom just got introduced to Kendrick because of the Super Bowl. She's saying like, "Who's Drake? What's this whole Drake thing?"
You know, I saw, and I don't know what this says about me. Maybe I'm just being like a Debbie Downer, but I saw Ben Stiller talk about the halftime show. Like, that was the best performance I've ever seen in my entire life. It's like, shut up, Ben Stiller. You don't fucking understand Kendrick Lamar.
Exactly.
Like, you don't know what you think Kendrick Lamar or Ben Stiller's just walking around his house like, oh, this Kendrick Lamar. Huh,
you know what
so
was
good.
cool? There was a Kendrick Lamar x Timothy Chalamet thing they did, and it was like, you would be surprised. Like, Timothy Chalamet is like talking about like how he listened to Kendrick. He's like rapping Kendrick songs and shit. And like maybe that's
different
rehearsed.
because he's younger. But I'm talking about Ben Stiller though.
That's different.
I think how old is he? He's like his mid-50s or something.
This is fucking Zoolander we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. He's just trying to say the right things. He doesn't really believe in the music. I doubt that he goes out voluntarily, puts that on his playlist and listens to it when he's driving by himself. Ooh, Kendrick Lamar.
We gonna be all right.
Yeah, we are. Huh.
Yeah, I
just don't believe him.
I don't believe him either. And also, you're an actor, so I automatically like, is this a thing? Are you acting right now?
Yeah.
Are you? Is Kendrick here?
I just wasn't buying it. I remember I felt like I cringed when I saw that because I just, like I said, I just really don't believe him.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're full of shit, dude.
Yeah.
You're a liar.
You're saying the right words. You're saying the combination of words you're supposed to say.
I'm an ally. That was a great performance. It's like, no, you can be an ally, and you're like, I don't get it.
Kendrick, that was funny too, because I remember when that halftime performance happened, and there were videos that came out of like the audience, and they were just recording like people watching him not really knowing what to do. Which, like, of course, like, you're paid for Super Bowl tickets. Maybe you're not a Kendrick fan, but it's just so funny because, like,
they should have had Drake, Lil Wayne, and them on there instead, because they would have put out some hits everyone knew.
You are correct in that they probably would have played a bunch of hits, but I, as the hip hop artist MC that I am, I feel like what Kendrick always does so well is every time he appears on like a live show, he always makes an event of it. Like, it's always based on whatever his recent thing was, and he's playing off the momentum of that. He'll also write something specifically for the event, like for the Grammys. He did something specifically for that. Like, he'll only perform it there, and he'll never rap it anywhere else, just in that one thing, which to me is fucking like, what other rapper does something like that? No one. Like, literally no one's doing that.
I'm just saying, objectively, the audience would have probably, you get like a million or whatever, and then Drake
had Maroon
to do like
5
Hotline
up there playing This Love Has, and the audience
and they did.
Fucking...
I remember I had an erection the whole time I was looking at Adam Levine. I was like, holy moly!
Adam Levine, look at Adam, my peen right now.
Yeah, Adam Levine. Adam Le penis is hard.
But yeah, dude. I mean, I get what you're saying. If you, that's like, you in that. With that argument, you could say you could have had
anyone.
You could have Olivia Rodrigo, like any of these pop artists, like that kids love right now,
right?
Or maybe you bring back like somebody generational, like from like 10 years ago.
Like, but between the Young Money group,
if you had Drake and Lil
Wayne, they put their biggest hits on there. Forget it. People are gonna move. They're gonna know. Like, I remember this song. I heard this at my Zumba class, or I heard this at whatever at a fucking Foot Locker, whatever. You hear the songs. You can't escape them. But this album, it came out, and it's like, it's a vast majority of people's first time hearing it.
But would that have garnered the same amount of attraction, though? Like, because that was a whole thing.
I think so.
Them people saying, like, I can't remember why Lil Wayne was upset, but he was upset.
New Orleans. He's from New Orleans, and it was in New Orleans.
That's why?
Yeah.
I didn't understand that. Oh, so the whole time I was like, why is this even...
Because, he's born and raised in New Orleans. That's like his whole thing. He's
and
New
this
Orleans,
kind of his only
Birdman.
chance.
Yeah, exactly. And so the idea is that he should have been there because he's been on Sports Center. He does a lot of NFL commentary. He's a diehard Green Bay Packers fan.
Oh, I never knew all that.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I'll be honest, and I want to make this clear. I was a very huge Kendrick Lamar fan. I have friends that told me growing up I listened to him too much. I have a high power TDE from his label T-shirt, all that. I didn't care for the performance. I was just like, whatever, dude. It was, again, so insisted upon, and the NFL is just trying to be like, oh, we're allies. They're just trying to say, I don't think that any of those, they're like 85-year-old senile white men. They don't give a fuck about Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
And I feel like it could have been just as big a spectacle if you had Nicki Minaj, Drake, and Lil Wayne, and all these other people on there.
Young Money.
Yeah, that would have been a hell of a show. They just performed their biggest hits, then the one that they're tied in, like the Eminem, Dr. Dre, all that, the 50 Cent. That was fire. Kendrick, was he on? He
was on that.
Boom,
He
that
did
was
all
good.
right. He did all right. Eminem did Lose Yourself.
Yeah, that was amazing.
And it was cool because it was Kendrick then Eminem. Like Eminem did the whole thing. It was that was wild.
That was what you could have gotten a version of that.
I think they did Forgot About
Young
Dre
Money.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Young Money.
They would have done a version of that. But instead it was a one-man show, and he did it, and his biggest song is a diss track.
Yeah.
You know what I think? I think, again, I forgot who was talking about this yesterday at Power Hour. It was the guy that was doing the heckle mic. Shit, I forgot his name. He's hilarious. But he was saying, Drake probably made some people upset, so they put Kendrick in to fucking destroy his career. And then the label the big Universal Music Group probably got together with NFL, like, hey, push this. We'll fund this with you. We'll pay you for the ad. I don't know. Maybe.
All a grand conspiracy, and that's actually why Drake is suing his label. It's because he knows these guys aren't rocking with him, so he's actually suing them. But people are getting mad at Drake because they're like, "Oh, why are you suing?"
That's a bitch ass move. Yeah,
they probably.
That's a pussy ass thing to do. Like, I'm suing you for, and he did lose.
I said earlier, not everything's black and white. I'm sure there is so much more to that story that we'll just never know. Like maybe Drake is in the right in some ways. I
doubt it, but I think maybe Kendrick probably does have more integrity. He's a better rapper.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is, objectively, I'm saying objectively, Drake dropped way more music, had way more hits, and is more fun to listen to. Has way more range. And I mean, I just liked him. Again, Kendrick's first 4 or 5 studio albums. This last one, I was like, whatever. It was fine.
How'd you feel about the one before that, Mr. Morale? Did you like that?
That one was good.
Okay.
But I give it that. It was good.
Okay.
And then the one before that was
Damn.
Loved that one. And then Section 80 I was obsessed with. Good Kid, Mad City, obsessed. These were some of the albums that I listened to on repeat. But back then I only listened to rap growing up. I only listened to one genre. But then I started listening to other stuff through hallucinogens and stuff. I remember the first time I actually liked a rock song was Blinded by the Light while I was tripping.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God.
You were literally blinded by the light.
And so then I started experimenting with like more classic rock, and then boom, I started going down rabbit holes. My siblings still, both of them, all they listen to is rap. They don't listen to anything else. And so I feel like listening to different genres opens up different moods, and you can kind of, it opens up a whole new realm. There's certain times where I'm in a punk rock mood, certain times where I'm in a rap mood and a jazz mood and whatever. I listen to it all, and I can tap into different emotions through different genres.
Yeah.
I feel like,
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I mean, I heard Tyler, the Creator, say once on like one of his Nardwuar interviews that he starts every day listening to 30 minutes of music that he like wouldn't normally listen to. Like he finds something new every day. And to me, that's
cool.
Genius.
Yeah.
Like what a smart move, because he makes all his own beats too. So
and
that must be where all
great.
of his samples come from, is through all the random stuff he listens to.
That's the one guy that he's one of my favorite artists because he has a fuckload of range.
Yeah.
I mean, he has funny ass songs, a muddy bass, and he can be lyrical, and then he does like the stuff with depth. And, so I really like Tyler, the Creator, a lot.
And he's still, through all of that, he's still like a raw ass artist. Like
he just
a real
remixed
artist.
Kendrick Lamar's Peekaboo.
Did he? Yeah, I saw that there was a video for that he did and everything. Yeah, yeah. And he after that, I think he just dropped his album like right after that too.
I don't know. I haven't listened. I just saw a clip like this morning about it. I was like, oh shit.
I think he did that like the Peekaboo thing. I think that was shortly after the song actually dropped, which like yeah, that was shortly after. I didn't know that was gonna be like one of the singles off the album. I didn't realize that. Wait, no, it wasn't. Oh, no, Peekaboo. No, I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking of somebody else did a remix of one of the songs. It was off of the second song off the Kendrick album. It was like right after Whacked Out Murals, there's the second song, which is like the one that was pretty popular other than the... No, I think that was like the hit single. The We Got the Music, dun, 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 dun. I can't remember how the song actually goes. But anyway, it was that song. That's the one that somebody did. I didn't know he did a remix of that. I'm gonna have to check that out. He must have just dropped that then. I think we were talking about his new.
The beat is sped up a little bit, and it actually sounds pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give it a listen.
Tyler the Creator's awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
He's like him, and like that's why I say I think there's enough. If there's enough real people that just keep doing that, I think rap can still be like rap because he's a real rapper. He's a real artist. He's not like in the face of everything else. He's still man, and even that he's more than a rapper, and that's kind of what you have to be. You have to be like just a musician first, and that's what he is.
And he's experimental. That's one thing I really like about him because I'll hear sounds and noises and beats and something like that in forms that I haven't heard before. Like he's unique. He has a unique sound.
Yeah.
And he has a unique approach to music that he makes, so I like that too.
And it's been that way for a long time. Like he's been harnessing that perspective ever since like what was the album Bastard. And that was the album like I first saw with Yonkers. That song was really popular. It's kind of what put him on the map for a lot of people. And
I didn't even know him until I saw the MTV Awards and he got an MTV Award. I was like, who the fuck is that? And I remember where I was when I heard it. And I was like, okay.
Wasn't that the one with all the fire and the performance and all that? I think I remember.
I don't know.
Because I feel like that was after
Igor.
I
just remember him.
You remember the album Igor? I think that was right after.
Igor was a great album.
Yeah,
I love that album. I love all his albums.
He's so creative.
Yeah,
yeah,
the creator.
Yes, and like if you listen to him talk, it's that philosophy of just constantly wanting to create. Like that's what he has in him. He just wants to do it all the time. He loves doing it, and that's what.
Have you seen the show Loiter Squad?
Yeah, a little bit.
So fucking funny.
Yeah,
the intro's like, I like cheese. I like cheese. I like cheese. And then he goes, It's just so out of pocket. It's so fucking funny.
I think that's another thing ahead of its time. I think they were definitely, if they had done that now as opposed to then, it probably would have done even better.
Maybe
if that just because the humor. That humor, I think, would resonate with people easy. And also, it's probably more accessible. You could probably just put that on TikTok or Instagram, and it would do fantastic. Dude,
it had me wheezing of laughter. I loved that show.
I love a lot of those skit comedy shows.
Me too, like Eric Andre.
Whitest Kids You Know is the first one I ever saw.
I've seen that.
Oh, dude. Trevor Moore, and then a couple other people.
I'm going to check it out.
You have to. That's what introduced me to all of it. Like, there's so many great skits on that show.
I'm definitely going to check it out.
There's like a JFK assassination skit they do. There's a skit where they're like, you cannot legally say I am going to kill the president on TV. Now I just said that to demonstrate to you. They have a bunch of stuff like they're so good. They're and it's a lot of dark humor. That was a lot of like the first dark humor I ever really saw was that show.
I love dark humor.
Yeah. Whitest Kids You Know. They have the Hitler rap. That was one of the first things I ever saw by them. It was Hitler rapping like he's like just doing a rap about how gangster he is.
Yeah.
And talking about how he's Hitler.
Yeah. Dude, dark humor. I mean, when I say I love it, it's just I say that because I just find myself laughing the hardest at really dark shit.
And me too, yeah.
It's just what makes me laugh.
And it must be.
And a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't like dark humor, so a lot of times comics will go perform and they'll do a joke and a really dark joke. Audience won't laugh. I'll find myself pissing my pants. And then like they kind of stop and look at me like I'm an idiot too. Like I'm like, whatever, man. This shit's funny.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone, fine, but I'm allowed to find shit funny.
Yeah. That's the tightrope of dark humor. I think like there's only a few comics I can think of who like could say dark humor anywhere. Like Norm Macdonald, I always give him credit because he was mostly dark humor, but he did that on The View. He did that everywhere. The same exact brand of humor.
Yeah.
Like, like about a depressed moth wanting to commit suicide, going on about how sad its life is. Like that is definitely dark humor. But it's funny. It's just funny because of who he is. Yeah. So I think like it's hard to know. And it must just be like putting out feelers. Like one thing I've noticed comics do, and I don't think it's a good move, is they'll be like, you guys a dark comedy crowd? You guys like a dark humor crowd? Because I think like it's just kind of like it's just too on the nose. You're like... Yeah. Like because what if they say no? You're just not gonna like because what usually happens, they say you guys are a dark crowd, and even if they don't really react, they go, all right, well here we go. Like I'll give you my dark stuff. Like you never really. To me, it just seems like what you would do if you didn't know what else to do. Like there's got to be another way to do that. That is a better move. Like maybe like a lightly dark joke, like something just to see. Like would they laugh at something like this? Like maybe that's better. And even what that is, I don't know. Like, I'm no professional here. Like, if you're going to say a joke about, like, dead grandmas, like, my grandma died last year, and I'm glad she died because I got a lot of money. Like, that's the joke. So you want to say that. How do you test these people to make sure they're going to be cool with that? Ooh. So you point out somebody in the audience, and you say to them, like, hey, you have anybody that passed away in your family? Do you mind sharing with us, you know, if you're comfortable? And then if they share with you, you find some joke around their thing. And if the audience laughs at your joke about the dead person, then you can joke about dead grandma.
Yeah.
There you go. That's my guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how else you know. I don't know how else you figure people out, like an audience out. It seems like jujitsu just to figure out an audience.
Yeah.
You're wrestling with them.
I've been writing a lot like lighter jokes, like jokes I can tell anywhere, and it's a lot more difficult than writing the lowbrow, like raunchy shit. But I like it a lot. It's a lot more rewarding because then that way, you know, I'm a lot more bookable, and people kind of, you know, because there are times I went up there and I just said really harsh shit, and people like, I'm looking at them like, oh, they're snowflakes. I'm like, no, I was just a complete prick. The joke wasn't good enough. A lot of comics will do that. They'll go up and have a dark joke, but it's a not funny joke.
Yeah.
You know. And then they'll be, oh, sensitive crowd. It's like, no, I'm okay with laughing about that. It's just you didn't deliver it well.
Yeah,
sensitive.
You just said something that was like there wasn't enough depth to it to make it like good enough of a joke.
Like I saw that coming, or that, you know, that joke had no thought.
Well, because like people will do that with like, oh, so women, they're bad drivers, huh? And then they'll get mad at you for not laughing at that.
Yeah.
Like that. I've seen that multiple times where like the joke is just women are bad. And then they don't really get a response, but you can tell like they still think. And it's like, dude, it's not that because they think they're being subversive. They think that they're fighting against like the woke comedy gods.
Yeah.
That's not quite what's happening.
And I feel like that era's over anyway. I mean, yeah, you're going to have sensitive crowds, but that whole cancel culture, you can't joke about anything anymore, is so done.
I've noticed most crowds will laugh at most things.
Yeah, if it's good, it's good. And yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's times where like you'll go to like certain crowds where they just don't want to hear anything edgy. Fine, that exists. That always going to exist. It always has. But I mean, yeah, there's people that will just go up there and just say super fucked up shit. It's not that funny, and they think it's the crowd, and they call out the crowd, and it's like, yeah, man, I don't know. I think you gotta go back to the lab a little bit. I'm guilty of that. I've
do a little DMT.
That. Yeah, go back to the lab and do some DMT. Yeah, but anyway.
I think that was a beautiful podcast.
So do I, man.
We did go 3 hours, over 3 hours.
Oh yeah, man. It's been great. Thanks for having me on, bro.
Thanks for being here, dude.
Real pleasure. Marco's going to be here soon. You should have us both on here sometime. You should do like a double podcast. Is that part?
We could do it.
Yeah,
we could make it happen. I haven't. I've done it a couple times. It's just the setup. It's just getting because the way this camera works. It's like, how do I fit another human in here comfortably and make it look normal? You know?
You could, if you ever want, you could like change the scene. You could do it at my place, like do a special episode. I got like a cool like city background.
Ooh,
like a city view.
Like a special episode. This is a special addictive.
And I've got a bunch of this stuff at my house, so.
So like what I would have to bring. What I have to bring? I'd have to bring recording equipment and then a camera, and that would be it. Really?
Well, I got the mics, I got the cables, I got the interface, I got.
What? So you still have all your recording equipment from when you were doing music?
Yeah.
You never sold it or got rid of it? You still have it all?
It has a sentimental value.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get rid of it.
That's nice. What kind of mic? What kind of interface? Do you know?
It's the interface shit. I forgot the name. What's it called? What's that? It's the red one.
Scarlet?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I have the Shure mics.
Like this? Like a Shure SM7B?
It doesn't look like these.
Okay, I wonder what Shure mic you have.
Yeah.
Just because, like, you know, Shure is actually a good brand.
And Bluebird.
Bluebird, like the USB mics, right? Those are USB?
It's
no, it can't be because you have an
XLR.
interface.
Yeah, it's an XLR.
Okay, Bluebird. I think I've seen that. This sounds so familiar.
That one's old, but it's a good mic.
Yeah, I mean, mics are ageless. Yeah. They truly are timeless, I should say. Yeah. And all music equipment is. I mean, really, there's mics that were from the 60s and 70s that sound amazing because they sound like that. You can't.
People will
you can't
pay
fix
top dollar for those too.
Yeah, you can't change it or fix it. It's exactly that. It's that microphone that it was back then. I mean, like a lot of the compressors that people mix on now, they're just emulators of the physical compressors that we used to actually use.
Yeah.
Like, nothing's really changed in the music equipment area for a long time.
Yeah.
You can invent a new mic, but like a lot of mics that are used now are 20 years old. This is from the 80s. The Shure SM7Bs they always say Michael Jackson recorded Thriller on these mics. That's what they'll always tell you. Because it is an iconic microphone. And it sounds fucking incredible. I love this mic, dude. When I bought these mics for the podcast, I just started recording my music on them because it's like butter. It's smooth. Like it's probably one of the most popular ones in radio, I would guess. Like at least podcasting, it's all over the place. So when you say Shure, my brain lights up because this beautiful thing.
Well, you can go ahead and bring these two if you want, but yeah, man, if you ever want to, it could be fun.
Yeah, I'd love to, dude.
Yeah, it's been great meeting you. Thank you for having me on here, man.
And I always end it with, you get a chance now to say to the people, one, you got a final message for the kids at home. You want to send it home with something inspirational. You want them to remember you by something. You want to cement your legacy. Now is your chance. But also, you got to tell them the social medias where they can find you. Maybe tell them about this open mic, a little bit more information about that. The floor is yours, sir.
All right. Milo Mack comedy on everything, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I got a show coming up tonight. I'm doing Ocean City April 5th. Opening up Zanies on May 1st for Vic Pandia. It's going to be a good show. And then for the kids, throw your life away so that you can build from scratch. You know, go ahead, make a mess. You know, then clean it up.
'Cause what is a life without chores, son? You eat your food, and what do you have? You got dirty dishes. You got to wash those dishes.
You sound like Owen. You sound very much like Owen.
Yeah,
that's like 8 seconds. Yeah, that was crazy.
I just tripped this guy out.
Yeah.
Did I just hit my DMT vape on accident? Like, what just happened? But for real, you got to do those dishes, okay? I read that in a Zen book once. It was like saying, like, a Zen philosophy, like a Zen koan was like, what do you do after you've eaten your food? You wash the dishes. And that's the wisdom. That is literally the wisdom of it. Go make a mess and then clean it up. Mm-hmm. I love it, sir. I loved having you on. I love your pizza socks. I love your pants, as I shouted out at the very beginning of the episode. I mean, truly a choice you made here today. You got the Soulja Boy shirt. I mean, we went through this already, but I'm going to give it one more acknowledgement.
Yeah, I chose this outfit on Monday. I waited to wear this. I was excited.
I love it.
Hell yeah.
And nice ass watch too. Oh my God. He's got a G-Shock watch. That thing has you could play video games on it. It sounds like something.
Call in an airstrike on this thing.
Yeah. And with that being said, folks, Rose Radio clocking out. Double down, competition couldn't help him to rock. Missed the whole time, holy fell through the flock. That's an ordinary miracle, wealth to the block. It's a balance in the character that's calm and collect. It's a